about the shoe. The shoe was not the same in the picture shown in court as the shoe pulled from the evidence bag by Trooper Walshe.
You mentioned you're at the hospital. There was a sneaker. One.
Yes.
Bukake! Bukake!
Woo! Good evening, friends. It's great to see you guys. Hope everybody's doing well. Thanks for hanging out with me this afternoon. No petty today. Okay, can't all be petty streams, people. Okay. We're gonna hang out a little bit. Eventually, I'm gonna open the phone lines. We're gonna discuss the closing arguments of this trial, the Brian Walshe trial. He is on trial, and the jury is now deliberating, and will continue deliberations tomorrow, I believe, because he's on trial for the murder of his wife, Anna Walshe. So now we all took an interest in this case to some degree, some with more interest than others. But many of us have just been kind of side-eyeing it here and there. Oh, sorry. Is today Friday? Shit. My bad. Yeah, my bad. Sorry about that. Monday. I thought today was Thursday. So the jury deliberations will continue on Monday. I thought today was Thursday all fucking day, even when I did my clubber walk today. I was I thought it was Thursday all fucking day. Anyway, but so the as far as I'm concerned, I mean, it's pretty cut and dry. We know what evidence they had against him for the most part. We know. I mean, I didn't really feel the need to listen to the testimony. I didn't feel the need to follow the case or the trial closely. I just didn't. The police have no credibility. I'm curious as to, but I mean, as far as this case goes, they do. At least the Massachusetts State Police do. Because the jury's just not going to know the stuff they shouldn't know, the stuff that we know. Now we're going to just kind of go through it here. And of course, we're going to speed it up. And yes, I'll be adding commentary. Because honestly, I mean, right, right, Jerry, like he did it. he did it. Like we know he did it. The question is he going to get away with it? And I don't think, I think this jury is going to come back guilty. Probably guilty second degree. That's what I'm leaning. Guilty second degree, but we'll see.
You shall decide the degree.
I don't want to go through.
I'm going to ask you to stay.
Yeah, it's going to take. I want everyone to know that it's going to take a hell of a lot for me these days to cover a trial. For me to cover a trial, I have to be really passionate about the case. Otherwise, I'm not sitting there and dealing with this all day long bullshit.
Evidence person is a person you state.
So the defense is going to present their closing arguments first. And I was watching this on the Modest channel, Defense Diaries podcast. I was watching this on their channel earlier, and I was thinking, like, I'd hire this guy.
What could happen to a loving father and a loving husband? We're making line of police before they
I can't do much about the sound, guys. I apologize.
search for the unspeakable on the internet.
And I don't know why I can't speed up
Of the woman that he
the speed. I don't know what the fuck's going on with that. Like lately,
There's no proof of that. There's no proof that Brian Walsh knew anything about an affair between the
yeah. So I can't speed this up, and it's really annoying. Like lately, when I've been playing videos on YouTube, you can't speed them up, and it's really fucking annoying.
woman he loved and William Tesser. Money? Second reason that the government suggests? Family money? Money that the family had worked together for years and continued to talk about in text messages and the sales of property? Trying to protect the assets for the benefit of the whole family and the future of their 3 children. A motive? There's no motive. Refusal to consider prison?
Yeah, it looks like the sound is the same way everywhere. Sorry.
Terrible mistake he made. The case that began in 2018. There's no proof of that. That he was afraid to go to prison. Who wants to go to prison? But prison was always on the table. And it was just something that he had to face up to, and something that he did.
So right now, this guy is already going with the angle. Like clearly, what he's doing is he's going with the angle of, oh well, Brian Walsh is an upstanding citizen, and he made a mistake, and he is the kind of guy that owns up to his mistakes and he takes accountability. Okay. Okay.
So what would cause a loving husband and a loving father to do the things?
Now, this guy's a public defender, as I understand it. This guy's not even a hired defense attorney. He's a public defender. He's doing a pretty fucking good job, I think.
In this case, could it be something that was sudden, something that was unexpected,
Right.
something that was unbelievable, something that only a medical examiner would understand, have knowledge of, but not a man like Brian Walsh. Something that is terrifying, something that defies logic when it happens. How do we know that Mr. Walsh was a loving father and a loving husband? We know from much of the testimony of Jim Mutlow. We know from simple testimony from Julie Basler from Kindercare. When asked questions about her experience with Mr. Walsh and the children, that he would show up and he'd be interested and he'd be friendly, and he was always interested in the progress of his children.
Okay, so he has a private practice, but he's acting as a public defender in this case. Got it.
And how do we know he was a good father? Because Anna Walsh trusted him with their 3 children, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, for all those times she was up in Washington, D.C. The unthinkable happens. It happens in a variety of ways. And the Commonwealth must prove to you beyond a reasonable doubt that a homicide occurred, that a killing occurred. Nothing proves that beyond a reasonable doubt on the facts and circumstances and the evidence given to you.
Right. I mean, that's the thing you got to understand, because a lot of people are like, what do you mean? Dude, he's on camera buying the supplies that he Googled that he would need in order to dispose, to chop up and get rid of her body. I mean, come on, he's a fucking killer. But that is not reasonable. That is not beyond a reasonable doubt that he killed her. That's circumstantial evidence. Whether you like it or not, it's very circumstantial. It doesn't mean that he definitively killed her. There's all kinds of scenarios out there that could have happened that we can't even think of. So looking guilty isn't enough to convict in a court of law, dude. It just isn't.
There's evidence that he lied to the police.
And there's no body.
There's evidence that he searched the internet. There's evidence that he disposed of a body. But there is no proof in all of the evidence that you have heard and been presented that he ever once thought about harming the woman he loved.
Now, that's interesting too, because as I understand it, he made these Google searches and then acted as a result of these Google searches after she had allegedly died. After she had after they're trying to say that he had killed her. So if he Googled this stuff afterwards, it does not prove premeditation. This guy is smart in the language that he's using. I love the language that he's using. Now, I mean, I'm not rooting for the guy to win. I'm just impressed with his lawyering. Because what he's doing right now is he's going, well, you know, there's nothing that proves beyond a reasonable doubt that he even thought of hurting his wife, because there isn't. There's proof that he knew of a situation that maybe he could have, but there's no proof that he was considering murdering his wife in the first place. Just because even if he knew that she cheated, it doesn't mean that he decided he was going to kill her.
Had he ever thought about harming the woman he loved? Did he ever plan to harm? Did he ever intend to harm? So, when we talk about the evidence of the affair, when we talk about evidence of financial concerns, when we talk about evidence of being afraid to go to prison, those are the motives that the Commonwealth needs to prove to you to support any notion that a loving husband and a loving father would kill his wife.
Okay, so, and I know a lot of people are saying, well, he if he killed her, or if he got rid of her body, and if there's no body, then I saw somebody say, oh, well, I have reasonable doubt because there's no body. There's all kinds of situations where you don't need a body and you can still prove that that person was killed by the person. I mean, if you could place the person at the crime scene at the time of the crime and you find blood DNA and you find DNA on their person, you find their DNA at the crime scene, you find, I mean, all kinds of different circumstances can put a puzzle together that say this dude, absolutely no doubt in my mind, killed the victim. Of course, you can absolutely do that. But I don't exactly know what puzzle they have put together here to say that he killed her and not have a body here to prove that he killed her and examine and find evidence of him on her body. And even still, it's his wife. So it would depend on what type of evidence it would be.
And the evidence suggests there was no motive at all. And without a motive, without a reason that is based on facts and circumstances.
Okay. Now, important language used here too, because the motive would be he was cheating on her. Motive could be she knew about his con. She could have been planning to testify against him and he found out about it. All kinds of shit, different shit that could be construed as motive, but it doesn't necessarily make it motive because you would have to prove that that was actually the motive. You would have to say, okay, well, we know this was motive because he texted somebody and said, man, her, talking to the cops makes me want to kill her, or her fucking some other dude behind my back, man, I'm going to kill that bitch. Like that shit that proves motive. But just the fact that she was cheating on him doesn't necessarily prove motive. It makes you go, ooh, that sounds like motive to me, but it doesn't necessarily prove motive, just the fact that she was cheating on him. He could have been a fucking cuck. He could have not given a fuck. Could have not cared.
Logic and understanding. Without that, you have a sudden and unexpected event that results in confusion, and panic, and fear. All of those things that are so troubling and horrific that you've heard evidence about, they may be argued that they show consciousness of guilt. But people do things, terrible things sometimes, Not out of guilt, but out of fear, out of disbelief, out of confusion.
This guy's good.
Certainly, a loving father and a loving husband would feel guilty about what he did do. Not just about lying to the police, but what he did do in the context of what he did to the woman he loved. In a moment, in hours, and in days of confusion and disbelief and horror. But that feeling of guilt had nothing to do with the killing, because he never.
Yeah, because like here's the thing: is we could probably you like you look at the Murdoch case, right? And this is interesting because right, there you go. We covered that, Cherry. Joe Clyde Daniels, no body. Adam Montgomery, no body. Patrick Frazee was convicted, no body. So it does happen. Yeah, I mean, exactly. You know, people cheat all the time, but people don't kill their spouse for it all the time. They get divorced. You know, like that's it doesn't necessarily mean that's motive. You have to prove that to be the motive. But this guy is really sharp, like in the way that he's wording everything. Because he's saying there's you can't, if there's absolutely no like if there's no definitive proof, this is a murder trial and you don't have anything other than the fact that he lied to the cops and that he tried to get rid of her body, and he's saying that it's in a state of panic and fear. I mean, okay, that right there creates doubt. The question is it going to be enough doubt created to convince the jury? Because, I mean, I'm totally convinced. Now, the law says, obviously, that they can't convict based on whether or not they think the guy is lying, right? You know, yeah, I don't know. Like, he could be lying, but did the prosecution prove that he killed her? You know? Now, he's not going to, I mean, we have seen this in the Murdoch case, though, because in the Murdoch case, one might say, oh, well, it was all of his lies that caught up to him, and the jury convicted him because of his lying. Okay, that's possible. I mean, it's possible that in the jury deliberation room, they were like, dude, I know this motherfucker's lying, so I'm just going to convict him on the fact that he's fucking lying. I'm voting fucking guilty because I could see that he's lying. But they would have to give a more valid reason, such as, well, look at the timeline. Look at the video that his son shot, the really short video that his son shot in the dog kennel. Look at the timing of that. All of these little circumstances also put Alec Murdoch at the crime scene. So it's not just the fact that he just couldn't keep up with his own lies, which was very telling, and which would make a human being sitting on a jury in that jury deliberation room sit there and go, fuck that. This motherfucker's a fucking liar. But that's not what is going to convict him. Not technically, not in the eyes of the law. What's going to convict him is the fact that why is he not being forthcoming with the cops? A, and B, the fact that all of the evidence puts him at the crime scene, especially since he lied about being at the crime scene and the time that he was there. So, like I said, I'm still talking about Alec Murdoch here, but I'm just giving an example. So that jury could go back there And they could be back there all weekend. They could be at home all weekend going, fuck that. This guy is a fucking liar. But they can't legally convict him on just him being dishonest. And because, again, his defense is he's a nervous guy. He's scared. He already lied to the cops once because he was scared.
Never killed Anna Walsh. You will hear arguments that you've seen the evidence
That too.
that might evoke emotion. Who wouldn't feel emotional in what you've heard, what you've seen? But your obligation, and I don't mean to sound like I'm lecturing you at all.
I love this guy. Disclaimer.
Her Honor,
This guy gives the disclaimer. He's like, your responsibility, because he wants to be clear. He wants to be, so there's no misunderstandings here, but he also wants to come off like, hey, I'm not trying to talk at you. I just have to remind you, in the interest of justice, your job is to look out for anything that creates any doubt in your mind. Remember what he's being tried with, and remember whether or not there's enough evidence. Decide whether or not there is enough evidence to prove where you have zero doubt in your mind that Brian Walshe killed Anna Walshe.
will instruct you on the law, and that is not my province, but you cannot base your verdict on sympathy for Anna Walshe. You can't base your verdict on anger to what Mr. Walshe did. You can't base your verdict on passion.
I love the judge.
Based on the evidence that you've heard that is upsetting and terrifying and at times disgusting. But that's not what you can do as jurors in this case. At the beginning of this case,
I mean,
when
he's
you
a
were
good
sworn
lawyer,
as
man.
jurors, you might not recall it, but the clerk of this court read you some words. To this indictment, the defendant pleads not guilty. He places himself before this country which you are, the obligation that you have accepted in this case is unlike perhaps any obligation that you've ever accepted in your life. Perhaps. That's for you to judge. But your obligation requires that without passion and without anger and without sympathy, that you assess the facts as troubling as they are, and at times as horrific as they are, and make your verdict rest on the evidence and nothing less.
Yeah, I mean, okay. No, I understand that they couldn't know, that the jury could not know that he pled guilty on these things. I feel like I still think that's fucking ridiculous. But when he started his opening statements, he said that he admitted to disposing of her body. So he admits to it. Like, the jury knows that he admitted to disposing of her body. So, okay. I'm under the impression that they could have just kept all of that out there, all of that out of it. There's no fucking way. If there's evidence that he disposed of her body and he pled guilty to it, why wouldn't the jury know that he disposed of her body? That's crazy to me. But the jury does know that he disposed of her body, so I was not wrong.
And nothing more. Unbelievable. Facts that don't make sense at times. Something that is incongruent. An example of that is the end of Mr. Jim Mutlow's testimony, where for almost an hour, he talked beautifully about the love between these two people, that he talked glowingly about Mr. Walshe, And then toward the end of his examination, he wanted to say something about now he was thinking there might have been some kind of problem. And reflect upon the evidence that he gave of a phone call he had with Mr. Walsh on the 4th, when the conversation was confusing to Mr. Mutlow, confusing where he kept asking what could have happened that would result in Anna Walsh leaving. The lie that Mr. Walsh was telling people out of fear that no one was going to believe him about what happened, so he lied. But consider the way that
Is the judge chewing gum?
Mutlow had a terrible to believe him.
She's totally
about
chewing
what had
gum.
fear that no one was going to believe him about what happened, so he lied. But consider
That's some
the way
bullshit.
that Mr. Mutlow
Because I sat in that very same fucking courtroom, and that same fucking courtroom I've sat in, and these motherfuckers come rolling up on me talking about your gum. Can't have gum in here. Like, they're all nice about it. Like, the bailiffs are funny. Like, if you talk, they'll yell at you and basically cut your head off with their voice. But if you're chewing gum, they'll be like, excuse me, hey, gum, just put it right here in my hand. Okay. And like, I have to be like, there you go. Put that shit right in their fucking hand. I've done it twice. Because like, if I can get away with chewing gum, it helps me stay awake. So if I can get away with chewing gum in the courtroom, I totally do. I just find it ironic that this judge is chewing gum in the very same fucking courtroom that on 2 occasions I was told to spit out my gum by a bailiff.
had a terrible time trying to understand that. And why? Because he knew both of them.
That's what I mean. It was like
Because-
it was such a big deal to them, Elizabeth Grace. It was such a big deal to them that it was like, you need to get rid of that gum right now. So put your nasty, spitty, fucking chewed up gum, your ABC gum, in my hand. Dude.
What he was thinking. Why would Anna Walsh leave? They love each other. I know them both. It makes no sense. And that is what happens when something happens that is totally confusing. You just can't believe it. And you seek answers. You yearn for answers that make sense of something. And when something sudden and unexpected happens, something tragic, your ability to come to terms with it, when it's such a dynamic, such a tragedy, you change. You change. The evidence of the searches. The dark.
No, now mints like Altoids and shit, you could eat those all fucking day. Like Bill Reed is the mint daddy. Bill Reed's the mint daddy. He passes out mints to everybody. He has mints on him. Janet Reed has mints on her. Kelly Reed has mints on her. One time Kelly Reed pulled out a fucking bag that you bake a turkey in, you know, that you fuck big ass bag, like out of her inside pocket of her coat, of like Lifesaver, like minty Lifesaver. I was like, okay.
Evidence of the searches. They began at 4:52 a.m. on January 1st of 2023. And the first one is, how do you dispose of a body? It causes chills. It causes disgust.
Listen, I want to stay on task here, but the gum conversation is so distracting. Gum doesn't make a mess. You just answered your own, like you say, people stick it all over. Just gross. No, gum doesn't make the mess. The people who stick it all over make the mess. I'm a fucking grown up, and I'm not gonna fucking stick my gum at the bottom of a fucking bench in the bottom of a fucking seat in a courtroom, a court of law, dude. Like, I'm not gonna fucking do that, you know. Now I understand that the gum rule is because of that, because a lot of people are fucking, they don't act like adults and they do that shit anyway. And it's gross. But it makes me mad that I can't fucking chew gum because some man child has to fucking stick his gum underneath where he's sitting.
Look at all of those searches. Think of how they evolved.
It is.
Consider how they go from one subject to another.
Gum doesn't make a mess. People make a mess. Okay. All right. Can't blame the gum. We're not, listen, we don't ban the gum. Okay. Don't ban guns. Don't ban gum. Neither.
In rapid fashion, searches conducted by a man that is in disbelief, in confusion. 5 hours.
I didn't mean cook. You know what I mean? I know what I said. I was trying to fucking think. I think out loud sometimes.
Enjoying life, talking about the future.
And I misspeak a lot.
And then the sudden and unexpected tragedy happens, and it doesn't make sense.
Exactly, dude.
If Mr. Walsh began to make those searches with murder in his heart as a result of murder,
I bet I could get
why isn't the
Cherry, I bet I could get Bullhorn Betty. I bet I could get Bullhorn Betty to start yelling and screaming through a bullhorn outside any place that bans gum chewing. I bet I could do it. See if she's in.
first search how to dispose of a body after murder? Because that's the search that occurred 6 hours later. And when you see that word murder, no one would not react to that word. And certainly as jurors in this matter, you're expected to react in a way to that. What does that mean? Does that mean that he in fact murdered his wife? But think about it in context.
Did he say, wait a second.
These facts.
Did he just ask, think about the word murder? And does that mean that he murdered his what? Well, yeah, murder means murder, bro. Like, what do you mean? What are you talking about?
Context matters. And so the first time the word
context
murder is used in these horrific searches is 6 hours after they
context does matter. Like if he says, oh my God, my wife's cheating on me, I'm gonna murder her. Okay, well, you take that the obvious way. But if he says, oh my God, my wife's cheating on me, that's hot, I'm gonna murder that pussy tonight, that's a completely different context, right? I don't think that this is where he's going, but maybe it is. Did he say murder and use it in a different context? I don't think so. Sorry, dude. If you say murder and we're talking about somebody who got murdered.
And I tried to ask Trooper Guarino, one of the forensic specialists, as he called himself, associated with the Mass State Police. I tried to ask him, well, it's only logical, isn't it, that if you don't get results, you change the wording. We all know that. from our own common experience. And you look at those searches that came and went during this time, and the results had to do with funeral parlors and cemeteries and things like that. But Mr. Walsh, given the tragedy that occurred to his wife, and given the time that had passed and his fear and disbelief, he couldn't call a funeral parlor. We need to try to understand, what can I do?
What? Sorry, dude. I'm not sold on that.
Darker, they become more upsetting.
I got to hear that
The
again.
thought is, the time that had passed, given the tragedy that occurred to his wife, and given the time that had passed and his fear and disbelief, he couldn't call a funeral parlor. We need to try to understand, what can I do?
You call a funeral. It's your wife. You don't want to give her a proper burial?
Become more upsetting.
Where's her body now?
Now the thought is dismemberment. And there's searches like that. You've heard about them. You'll read about them. And then you see searches.
Now, who's in chat saying that that the jury doesn't know about dismemberment and disposing of the body? Are you fucking kidding me right now? Who in the chat is fucking saying that the jury doesn't know that? He's fucking telling the jury that that's what happened. Like, oh, a funeral parlor was out of the question. Calling them was just crazy. I mean, because his mindset was in a place where he was just, what made sense at the time was dismemberment. What? What?
They cover days. And there's searches about cleaning. And there's searches about how to clean up. You'll read them. And even though they don't talk about murder, they are equally upsetting, because you're thinking, as jurors in this case, he's thinking about cleaning up.
Bro, he's telling them right now. Are you not hearing? He's telling the jury right now that he's thinking about cleaning up the body and not calling a funeral home. He's justifying, attempting to justify why he cleaned up the body and dismembered her. What are you talking about? Like, you not listening to the man? And who do you think he's talking to? He's not talking to the judge. He's talking to the fucking jury. Jesus.
He's thinking about how you clean a concrete floor. Context.
Like, that's Brian Walsh's lawyer.
1,034 pages of digital data. 3,667 records taken from his MacBook. Not one record, not one page refers to any plan. Not one record, not one page refers to any intent to kill. Nothing. So keep it in context when you review that exhibit and those searches, and ask yourself, why is a man searching now if he had intended to kill his wife?
Good
Why
point.
is the man searching now
Good point.
if he had planned to kill his wife?
I mean, clearly the picture that Brian Walsh's own attorney is painting for the jury is he didn't plan on killing his wife. He panicked when he saw she was dead and then got rid of her body instead of calling a funeral home. Because why would he do that in that state of shock? That is the narrative. That is the picture he is painting right now for this jury. What are you talking about?
That is the government's theory. He planned. He deliberately premeditated the plan to kill his wife. Where is the evidence of premeditation? In thousands of pages of records. I suggest to you respectfully, you're the jurors. What is the evidence of premeditation? There's evidence of a knife. There's evidence of a knife that is seen in a kitchen cabinet. Could I please have exhibit 201? And next exhibit 202. And finally exhibit 203. The knife. It was above a refrigerator. It was in plain view. Had no visual red blood stain. And yet the government wants you to think about this knife. So think about it. Don't ignore it. Do not refuse to consider it. Of course you will, but think about it. In a cabinet above a refrigerator. And they first test it with some screening test. It doesn't.
Okay.
Prove.
Like the knife, the bloody knife, the murder weapon is in the cabinet above the refrigerator. Like that's the cabinet that you stick holiday dishes in that you're not going to touch all fucking year. Or that's the cabinet where you stick fucking your pest control traps and shit. You store those. Or liquor. That's the right. That's not where you store knives. Grill stuff too, right? It's not where you store knives. Not even the sharp ones.
It has even blood on it. And they take it, and they should. And then, what happens is everybody loses interest in the knife. Everybody, the Mass State Police, the crime lab. There's no further testing of this knife. And ask yourself, if that knife is to be considered a weapon used, then why is it in that cabinet? You have heard evidence of bags and bags being thrown in dumpsters over a period of days.
That shit's hilarious. There was a band that I think my band played with a couple times in Miami. I know I saw them play a couple times. But they played the same venue, and they were called Leftover Crack. And I remember thinking that that was the greatest band name that I'd ever heard in my life, because there's no such thing. It doesn't exist.
The government wants you to think that Mr. Walsh killed his wife and perhaps used this knife. Then why was it sitting in a cabinet days later in open view for the police? What logic is that? And there is no proof that it had one piece of biological evidence on it tied to any killing or any harm. And they simply lost interest in it.
I mean, look who we're talking about here.
Digital data.
Fucking super cops. Our favorite super cops.
There is nothing in that data. All of that data. And we're talking about text messages. We're talking about backbook searches. We're talking about the life that's embodied in computers that this day and age we know apparently keep track of everything we do and to some extent everything we think about. Because that's how the government is using that data. They ask you to look at certain things and indicate and try to argue that, oh, this is what he was thinking. So look at it and judge for yourself. What's in this data that demonstrates premeditation or intent to kill or intent to harm? You have heard and seen much physical evidence. You've seen pictures of gray slippers with blood on them. You've seen pictures of all kinds of physical evidence. And if the argument is made by the government, something about a dark gray slipper with blood on it indicates that a murder happened because, listen to the argument, of course you will. But a theory, an opinion, does not make it true.
He's right.
To suggest something like, the evidence shows that Mr. Walsh went and bought a Tyvek suit, and maybe there's just not enough blood on the Tyvek suit to satisfy the Commonwealth, and so they suggest that some killing happened, and that's why there's so much blood.
This guy's so good.
Slippers and all that other evidence. But ask yourself,
There's all this blood everywhere. There's all this blood everywhere. And the Commonwealth, the government wants you to believe that a killing took place. A woman's dead, and they want you to believe that a killing took place. That's just amazing. Like, yeah. But he's so good because it's like, all right, well, prove that a killing took place. And it wasn't like she didn't fucking fall on a knife. Maybe she just fell onto a sharp knife. Dude panicked. Didn't call funeral home, and he was like, fuck. I got to think of the kids. Let me put this knife up here that she fell on by accident away from the kids. Amazing.
Oh, here we go.
I think we got a super dad. Super dad. I think we got a super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Dad, 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 dad. I think we got a super dad.
how dare you?
Dina, my favorite channel. Thank you so much, Dina.
What do I know about that evidence now from what we heard?
What's up, Trial Channel?
Every piece of evidence
It's ridiculous.
was put into a bag, but then was put into a compactor eventually, and was pressed together and then found. And you will see all of this evidence.
I'm sorry, what?
From what we heard. Every piece of evidence was put into a bag, but then was put into a compactor eventually, and was pressed together and then found. And you will see all of this evidence of when they pulled it out of dumpsters and unloaded the bags, and they first put it on damp ground without any paper below it, without any tarp below it. And you heard from no less than 3 witnesses. Mr. Gould from the Mass State Police Crime Lab, Mr. Sheehan from the Mass State Police Crime Lab, and Ms. Celine from the DNA unit. They all consistently said cross-contamination or transfer. They used different terms, but they all agreed. So the evidence, the physical aspect of the evidence, the thing you see in the photographs, the thing you see now.
What? So is that the suggestion here? Is that that's all it takes? I don't have to burn the evidence. I don't have to like throw it at the bottom of a fucking river where nobody's ever going to find it. All I have to do is put it in a trash compactor where all the evidence gets cross-contaminated and mixed up, and then none of the evidence is any good. It's that easy. It's that easy to get rid of evidence because all you got to do is rely on cross-contamination, and it's no good, according to this guy right here. But he's really selling it, which is really funny to me. Like, he's really selling it. The Massachusetts State Police themselves kept using the word cross-contamination. It's not my word. It's the Massachusetts State Police word. It's the crime labs. It's the DNA people. It's not even me. This guy's brilliant. This guy's fucking brilliant.
If you open up one of the bags and take things out, is not representative, or may not be representative of how it looked before. And you must consider that. So when the government makes an argument based on the state of the physical evidence as it appears now, ask yourself, maybe that makes sense, but maybe there's another way of thinking about it. And
Is
why
there?
that important to your
What?
deliberations? Because you are allowed to rely on what's called circumstantial evidence.
I could fucking watch this guy lawyer all day, bro.
You're allowed to rely on inferences, and Her Honor will instruct you on that. I will not. But whatever reason and basis you have for making your choice and determining your decision must be reasonable. And if you, as jurors, talking amongst yourselves, find that some of your fellow jurors say, well, I think maybe it means this, and I believe this, and your other jurors, fellow jurors, say, I think this, and I believe this, you'll all consider it. But if you don't agree, then you have to ask yourself, is that inference reasonable? Is that circumstantial evidence built upon inference? Is that reasonable? And can I use that? And should I use that to try to reach a verdict under a standard of reasonable doubt or moral certainty?
This guy's magical, bro. Because he's focusing on reasonable doubt, but he's doing it in like Mark Twain would write a story. it's brilliant. It's really fun to listen to.
What is the evidence that something violent happened in this house?
Now, whether or not the jury buys it, that's another story. Like, I know if I'm on that jury, I'm going, bro, you're fucking reaching, dude. You know what I mean? But I'd still have to pause, and I'd still have to think, and I'd still have to be like, maybe he's got a point. Has this guy created doubt in the jury's mind? Enough doubt. Because he's even validating the evidence. He's saying you saw a lot of physical evidence. He's validating it. He's saying it's evidence. He's not trying to downplay it. He's not going, oh, like what they're telling you is evidence is not actually evidence. He's not doing that. He's going, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you saw a lot of physical evidence. He admitted to these searches and mutilating her body, but that doesn't make him a killer.
I went through every room as best I could with Mr. Sheehan. There was nothing found in the upstairs bedroom. There was nothing found in the sinks and basins, showers of multiple bathrooms. Nothing found, meaning biological evidence that might indicate something violent occurred. There was nothing found in the kitchen other than a knife that they lost interest in. There was nothing found in the living room that had padding around the fireplace to protect the children from falling. There was nothing in that bedroom where Anna Walsh, Brian Walsh, as adults, enjoyed their life together. and had spent their life together, perhaps every night, before she moved to D.C. to take that job. How do we know that? We know that because the photographs show there was nothing there. Even what was characterized as red-brown stains on curtains in the bedroom turned out not to be blood at all. We know that because trained examiners.
What's up, Team Brittany? Good to see you.
Probably every square inch of that house. We know that because we saw photographs in her testimony about floor that was dug up based on their experience and training.
Right.
That biological evidence, like blood, can fall between the cracks of flooring and reside on the subfloor. And so they tore the floor up, and you saw those photographs, and you'll have them. And nothing was found. Nothing at all.
Did they find bleach? Did
I
they
asked
find...
Mr. Sheehan about blood spatter, and he forthrightly and honestly said, I'm not a blood spatter expert, but he explained it sufficiently to you. Someone wielding a knife or a weapon and causes blood to let out of a body, and you look for blood that has spattered with directionality. Nothing. Nothing in the bedroom, nothing in the living room, nothing in the bathrooms. No evidence that blood drained down the drains. Could I have Exhibit 217, please?
Yeah, I mean...
That test that I asked Mr. Sheehan about.
He's going to avoid all that, of course.
That checks for hemoglobin, for blood. That test, he agreed, can detect blood at the sensitivity of 20 nanograms per milliliter. 20 nanograms. A nanogram, as he agreed, 1/1000th of a gram. Think of how minuscule that is.
Yeah, that's 1/1000th of a gram.
They used that all over the house. And so the government elicited questions and answers from many of their state police, the 10 or 20. They didn't call everybody. That's up to them. But apparently there was no need to, because 10 people or more, as Mr. Sheehan had described to you, he was estimating. He was trying to be as honest as he could and credible, and he was. 10 people pouring over that house all day on January 8th. 10 more people or more pouring over that house on January 9th with their tools and their experience, and they don't find anything except multiple bloodstains where? In the basement. In the basement. On the concrete floor. Ask yourself, when you heard testimony that Mr. Walshe attempted to clean, and so therefore they couldn't find evidence in the other parts of the house because he cleaned it. Well, ask yourself, wait a minute. Is that logical to suggest that he cleaned the bedroom up so well nobody could find a thing? He cleaned the living room up where the rug may have been, and they couldn't find anything. Well, then you see those searches where he searches specifically for how to clean concrete. So you might infer, and it might be a reasonable inference, that he attempted to clean that concrete floor.
Team Brittany, gifted a membership. Thank you so much.
And yet, what was found on the concrete floor? Multiple red-brown stains that turned out to be blood, and in some instances, we can all agree, based on the testimony of Ms. Salim, The profile of those blood draws matched the profile of Anna Walsh. So to suggest
This dude is amazing, bro. Okay, so this dude is like, the search says how to clean concrete. Okay, now you're going to tell me that he cleaned everything else that he didn't search for how to clean so well, where they didn't find any type of evidence whatsoever of a murder of Anna Walsh being killed. But the one place where he did actually do the research on how to clean the one surface, how to clean concrete, there was still blood found. So the searches don't matter, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. The searches mean jack shit, because the one thing that he searched on how to do, he didn't even follow up because he didn't clean it right, did he? They found blood, brown stains, turned out to be blood, not only turned out to be blood, but turned out to be Anna's blood. So the searches don't matter, do they? Unreal. Unfucking real. Oh my God. Thank you so much, Krista. Appreciate it. Hey, handsome, can we correct the record, please, regarding my last paper? Listen, I don't know why you would have spent so much time on these things. Okay. I'm really grateful for the PayPals. I don't overthink them ever. But you keep sending them because you're overthinking the last one. You don't need to do that. It's just letting you know, you don't need to do that. There's nothing there's no record to clear the air on here. Everything's cool. Appreciate it. You don't have to keep giving me money to not feel awkward in some way. It's totally cool. Like we're good. Promise.
that Mr. Walsh did everything he could to clean the basement concrete floor with hydrogen peroxide and mops and cleaning fluids, only to have blood found on the floor. Defies a reasonable inference that he was able to clean any part of that house sufficiently to avoid detection. And why is that important? Because nothing violent happened in that house. And that's why there is no biological or blood evidence anywhere in that house.
What do you mean? You just said that the concrete had Anna's blood on it. Am I tripping? Did he not just say that? Hold on, man.
Well, those blood draws matched.
Here we go.
We can all agree, based on the testimony of Ms. Salim, the profile of those blood draws matched the profile of Anna Walsh. So to suggest that Mr. Walsh did everything he could to clean the basement concrete floor with hydrogen peroxide and mops and cleaning fluids, only to have blood found on the floor, defies a reasonable inference that he was able to clean any part of that house sufficiently to avoid detection. And why is that important? Because nothing violent happened in that house. And that's why there is no biological or blood evidence anywhere in that house.
You just said there was. What do you mean?
The act
Thank you, Krista. I appreciate it.
of trying to
You just said there was.
And the blood evidence that is seen on that carpet. That's what happened. There's no blood in the living room. The inference might be that the carpet was taken downstairs. Because you can look at those pictures. You can look at the physical pieces of carpet. And you should.
Speak up, man.
If there is no evidence of any killing that happened, and there's no evidence that anything was done before Mrs. Walshe died, and there's no evidence of premeditation or anything,
Fair enough. There's not evidence of premeditation.
of lying and disposing of the body. You can take that to one side. So now we look at the evidence, and I'm just going to characterize it. Some of the evidence that the Commonwealth has presented to you, and there is no question that
What's up, Scott Messerschmidt?
present to you evidence. But I just ask you to think about, in some cases, how that evidence was presented to you. And I'm going to use a phrase that may or may not be entirely accurate, but it's cherry picking. It's looking at thousands of points of data and asking you to think about it, but not telling you why you should think about it. And what am I talking about specifically? And I'll give you some examples.
Okay.
We already talked about the hole in the ceiling, but let's talk about it a minute. They kept talking to you about that hole in the bedroom ceiling as if it was of some significance. And yet you recall the testimony.
Now I kind of wish I had watched the trial, like thoroughly, you know, because this guy is amazing, because he's like, right now he's telling me that there's evidence, but he's not giving me any good reason to think that that evidence isn't valid. But at the same time, he's sure selling it like as if that evidence isn't valid. Like he's really, really selling it, but he's not giving me any, he's not giving me any solid reason. But if I'm too stupid to look for that, you know what I mean? Like this guy would sell me.
Mr. Sheehan, I didn't see anything significant about it. It looked like somebody might have fallen through the ceiling. And there's nothing significant about the pieces that Mr. Walshe had stored in the cabinet in that same bedroom. I asked Mr. Sheehan about that. I didn't see anything significant about that. Yet you kept being given that evidence. And then as the evidence developed, for some reason, there's Mr. Murphy. And it came out in evidence that Mr. Murphy had in fact contacted Mr. Walshe because there was a promotion going on. It wasn't that Mr. Walshe said, hey, come and fix this hole, this suspicious hole. No, he was contacted. And he didn't respond right away, but then he did. And for some reason, they keep insisting that that hole is of some significance, but they don't tell you why, they just give it to you. They do the same thing with the searches. Remember when Trooper Keefe was sitting right here and he's asked to look through those thousands of, 250 pages of the search history from the iPhone Mini 13, the phone that belonged to Mr. Walshe, and he's asked to look at it. He says, do you see searches there to go to the MGM? Yes, I do. Nothing else. No explanation why that is significant, why it's important to try to determine if a man committed premeditated murder. You're just throwing that piece of evidence.
Brittany gifted another membership.
Why were you giving Why was asked to tell you about a song, a partial song title? And when you go over that evidence, look through there if you choose to, and I encourage you to do that. And you see song after song and movie title after movie title.
Oh my God, Krista gifted
is it
5
that
memberships.
The government throws that up and says,
Awesome. Thank you so much, Krista.
think about this. For what reason? And then they present to you through Trooper Garino something about a porn movie. I'll just take this opportunity right now to apologize to each and every one of you for some of the questions I asked. But it just didn't make sense that you would take that type of evidence and suggest that it has anything to do with determining whether someone committed deliberate, premeditated murder because there's a word in the title of a movie. And that's what I'm talking about, the quality of some of the evidence here, thrown at you as if it means something, that it's significant, and yet here you are being asked to determine if someone, Mr. Walsh, committed premeditated murder.
Team Brittany
with
gifted
a
another membership.
specific intent to kill.
Oh my God.
When we talk about premeditated murder, when we talk about planning, you have to ask yourself, did I hear evidence of the conduct of a man who premeditated, a man that had thought about a killing, a man?
See, they should have never, the prosecution never should have tried to present this case as premeditated. Commonwealth should have never done that.
Man that had planned. I mean, think about what you heard. And we're not going to repeat all those things I've already said, but I want you to focus on one other piece of evidence. I asked Detective Schmidt, when you went down to the basement on January 4th, you saw some bags down in the basement. Yes, I did. What did you think was in those bags? I thought they were pieces of rope. My goodness. What does that tell you about the thinking process and the sloppiness and the lack of any planning or careful thought that you would expect out of someone who had planned a murder? And then he lets a police officer walk down in the basement, and the police officer, based on his training and experience, uses, I think he said, his boot, and he felt it, and he said, felt like pieces of rug to me. Rug?
I mean, dude.
Is it evidence?
That's why protocol is so fucking important, because a good defense attorney is going to fucking take every detail, every fucking detail, every move that a cop makes once they step onto that crime scene, and they're going to tear it the fuck apart, especially the reputation that these cops have. You don't think that the behavior in the Massachusetts State Police and all of the bad publicity that the Massachusetts State Police have been getting because of the Kara Reed case, you don't think that that somehow it influenced or inspired this attorney and how they were going to approach their defense? I mean, that is, you've got to be a fool to assume that this guy didn't go into this and go, oh man, I'm going to exploit the fuck out of this as much as I can, but I can't make it obvious to a jury that that's what I'm doing.
It has blood.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards murder too, is what I think.
Think about all of that when you're thinking about it. Did this man, Mr. Walsh,
I'm not saying that's what I think happened. I'm saying that's what the jury is going
did he
to
intend
rule
to
on, I
kill
think.
anybody? No. Did he kill Anna Walsh? No. The evidence does not support a finding a premeditated murder with specific intent to kill based on the evidence, not based on sympathy, based on the evidence. What's some other evidence that is troubling? Mr. Walsh is talking to the police, and he says, "I messenger." When asked about, and we was trying to explain it.
Oh,
things
yeah.
will come up on my
I saw
phone
his
that
tweet
I
about
thought
that.
were for me, but then
Thank you,
it turns out they were for honor.
proctorial
So the government
misconduct.
seizes upon that evidence and suggests that there's evidence.
Now, proctorial misconduct, you also win handle of the day.
That Mr. Walsh had seen text messages between Anna Walsh and William Fastow. And those text messages between Anna Walsh and William Fastow, some text messages are placed into evidence, and I'm sure you'll look at them. And why would the government want you to believe that Mr. Walsh saw those text messages? Because some of the entries in those text messages are very upsetting. They may very well enrage a husband to read about what was going on in those text messages. So you'll look at them. But ask yourself, as you look at them, and perhaps as you think, I could see that might upset, that might put somebody in a rage. Problem is, there is absolutely no evidence Mr. Walsh ever saw any text message because he was trying to say, I messenger. And now you know from the testimony of Trooper Keefe.
That's weak
no
too,
such thing
man.
as iMessenger.
This is just weak.
We're talking about Facebook Messenger. But the important thing is, there is no evidence in all of the digital data that you have before you, in all the digital data that they examined, that Mr. Walsh ever saw anything going on between his wife and William Fastow. And when you look at those text messages, and you might have some question about it, and if the government stands up and says, well, he saw those because he told them that he was
iMessenger. The text didn't happen because there is no iMessenger. He meant to say Facebook Messenger. So therefore, you have to just dismiss the whole goddamn thing. Oh, yes. Thank you, Ellen Hull. This is one of my favorite shirts. Appreciate it. This is fucking great, bro. This guy's amazing.
seeing iMessenger, which doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist.
Then ask yourself, why is it then that on New Year's Eve, Anna Walsh is taking all these photographs? It's festive. It's a lovely situation. And she says, in the presence of Brian Walsh, as she and Jim Mutlow were taking photographs, hey, why don't we send a photograph to Will Fastow? And was there any evidence that he reacted, Mr. Walsh? No. And when asked by Attorney Porges, well, so what happened next? And Mr. Mutlow really took efforts to remember, and then he said, oh, yeah, that happened before the young boy woke up and came downstairs, and that was around 10:30. So if you just think about that, then the festive and jovial.
I mean, we know what he was doing. No, he didn't react. He was just like looking at it and going, I'm going to kill this bitch. Like, that's what he's doing. Like, we know he did this shit. Like, it is so obvious. Like, the jury knows he did it. The only question here is whether or not the jury is going to convict on him or is going to convict him for it or not. But the jury totally knows that he fucking killed his wife, dude. Like, let's get real. Every fucking member of that, nobody in that jury, like, it's not a question to a juror right now whether or not there's reasonable doubt, like whether or not, I'm not sure if he killed her. It's a question of, is this defense attorney making enough of a point to make me say that there's enough doubt that I should have in the prosecution's case? Legally speaking, am I within the boundaries of the law here? But guaranteed, the jury absolutely believes that this guy killed his wife. This is what's going to make the jury deliberations complicated. That's what they're deliberating on. They're going, okay, look at the evidence. They're going over the evidence. And once they go over the evidence, the conversation is going to naturally shift to, okay, like, we know he did this shit. I know he did this shit. Okay, but we can't convict him on what we know. Like, we all agree, like, this guy's a shitbag. But the fact of the matter is like, did the prosecution prove it in the eyes of the law? And that's what we're here to determine. And this is going to be the basis of the conversation when they deliberate. Ultimately, once they go over all the evidence. Proctorial misconduct, thank you again. I'm certain Mama Walshe helped him out. I'm not familiar enough with the Mama Walshe aspect of the whole situation to chime in my opinion on that, but
Continued for another 2 hours. There is no evidence that he reacted. Mr. Walsh reacted to them sending a photo. Why? Because he knew his wife had a crush on Will Fasto, and it didn't even make him jealous. And how do we know that?
because he didn't react.
Because she told her friend, Alyssa Kirby. And Alyssa Kirby was asked, and she said, you know, Anna told me that he didn't get jealous. He's not the jealous type. In fact, I wish he was more jealous. Please consider that in the context of this notion.
I love this. The cuck defense. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, my client's a cuck. He doesn't give a fuck that somebody's fucking his wife. That's not against the law. That doesn't make him a murderer. In fact, it goes against the whole motive theory here. Amazing. Amazing. Team Brittany gifted another membership. Holy Jesus. I love this shit. It's brilliant. The fucking cuck defense, dude. He didn't even get jealous. He wasn't the jealous type. In fact, Anna Walshe was like, I wish he would. Which like subtly implies, not so subtly, that she was just a shitty person. This kind of plants a seed to the jury, helping push making her a little more unlikable. This is very brilliant. Like he's totally manipulating the situation here. He's going, yeah, I mean, and even still, like, he wasn't a jealous guy, so there was no motive. There goes the whole motive theory. He didn't even react. He may have even liked it. Because he's a fucking cuck. And the wife didn't respect him because he was a fucking cuck. That's why she didn't mind cheating on him. Because she thought he was a fucking cuck. She didn't like the fact that he didn't get jealous and he didn't care. It's brilliant. And it helps the jury not think of her so, I mean, that's That's the thing, people. You got to remember, and a good defense attorney will do this. Like without attacking the victim, because you can't attack the victim. You can never do that. But if you could paint a picture to where the victim is just human, flawed like anyone else, totally capable of being a shitbag, totally capable of being an asshole, totally capable of being self-serving, it helps the jury not like the victim so much. And if you don't like the victim so much, it subconsciously will make you have be more open to having sympathy for the defendant. It's slick as fuck. Like, this dude is good. I mean, I don't know if it'll be good enough because I see it a mile away, but I'm not on that jury.
That the motive for a killing that did not occur, but the Commonwealth's theory of a motive is anger over an affair. There's no evidence of that.
Amy McCabe, thank you so much.
Dr.
You have the
Atkinson
greatest
told-
weekend.
Dr. Atkinson described to you the phenomenon of sudden unexpected death. It happens. And just because it's rare, and just because the government will undoubtedly argue that that is nonsense, listen to their argument. But Dr. Atkinson made it clear it happens. It happens in young and old, male and female. It happens unexpectedly. In fact, it happens with people who have never manifested any problem before. It happens in athletes. And how do we know that it's not absurd, even though it might be rare? How do we know it is an important aspect of what happens to people? Because the laws of this state mandate that the office, the chief medical examiner, get information from doctors, police officers, nurses, when there is a sudden death, when someone is otherwise healthy.
This
They're
shit
mandated
is
to
my
investigate that.
this shit is my favorite, dude. This shit is my favorite. SUDS. She died of SUDS, and there's a knife, and there's blood, but at the same time, there's no physical evidence, no blood evidence, even though there's blood evidence. But SUDS, that's the defense. No motive, because my client's a cuck. And even though it's rare, it does happen. Sometimes people just up and die. Sudden, unexpected death syndrome. It happens. Like, I love this guy's lawyering. Like, he's really, really good. But this shit right here, that right there, there's no way that I'm on that jury and I go, dude, like, look, there's no way that I don't go, okay, this guy's saying SUDS killed the woman. She's dead because she just up and died. That's their theory that they're presenting. Had they just left that out of it, I might have doubts. Now I think he absolutely killed her because he had the balls to try to tell us that the woman died of sudden unexpected death syndrome. Get the fuck out of my face. Like, how stupid do you think I am? Trying to convince me of that makes me think that you did it.
So there is a statute that Dr. Atkinson told you a little bit about on cross-examination. So ask yourself, is it as unlikely? Is it bizarre? Because Anna Walshe worked out. Yes, she had been sick before.
I know. You're right. That's why I'm saying that's why I explained what I explained earlier. The main conversation that's going to be where it might get heated is once they go over the evidence, that jury, when they're deliberating, is going to be pretty much clawing over what is reasonable doubt legally versus, just the shit that makes them, I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just, like, there's going to be people, like I said, everyone is going to think that this guy killed Anna Walshe. The only conversation that they're going to have is whether or not they are properly looking at the evidence of the prosecution. And did the prosecution convince them of this? Or did Brian Walshe and his behavior just make them lean that way? You know what I mean? Like, there's a big difference between one and the other, because the burden of proof is on the prosecution. And if the prosecution did not present a case that is impervious to the doubt that this attorney can create, then they have to vote not guilty. That's what the law says. So there's going to be a lot of conversation, I imagine, where they have to remind each other of that. The foreman is going to have to remind everyone of this constantly. I guarantee it, because I believe everyone there thinks that he's guilty. Team Brittany gifted another membership. Oh, thank you, Sarah. Be creative, but it's the same tree as last year. Thank you so much, though. Appreciate it.
Been with Alyssa Kirby in the days leading up to this, and Alyssa Kirby wound up having the flu. But that's not what really is at issue here. Sudden and unexpected death may occur because someone is ill. All we know is that it happens. And the fact that someone doesn't believe it could happen doesn't mean that it doesn't. Importantly, though, think about the shock of it happening. Think about the effect it would have on anyone. A lay person that has no idea it could happen. You're down celebrating with your wife and your friend, and then the tragedy happens. And you panic because you can't believe it. You don't understand it. And you don't think anybody's going to believe it. Context. I walked Trooper Keith through all of that information, something that he had not done yet. And so what did you hear? We went methodically. Sometimes, I'm sure for some of you, it was a little painful. It took a little while. But we went through hour by hour, day by day, that basically was the life and the experience that Anna Walshe and her husband, Brian Walshe, were going through in just the days leading up to January 1st of 2023. And what do you see? And you'll have that evidence. You won't have it compiled in the way that I presented it to you, because Trooper Keith never saw fit to assemble it in a way where you could really see what was going on. But what do you see, and what did you learn from the evidence? Two people communicating by phone and by text, talking about sales of property, talking about investments, talking about the future, talking about reinvesting, talking about buying new property in D.C.
It's good. They're just
all of that.
innocent stuff.
Joking when Anna Walshe was ill and stayed home and told her husband that in the text. And then they joke about it. I'll get you a plunger. And she responds, it's right there on the text. Joking back and forth in the days leading up to New Year's Eve. I'll tell you what, I'll buy the plunger. You buy me a Porsche. And then you see him shopping for a Porsche. for the woman that he loved. How does it go from, I'm going to find you the Porsche you want, that speaks once again to the financial issues that were non-existent?
Wow.
How does it go from that to someone who is reportedly premeditating and intending to kill his wife?
I mean, one could argue that he planned it really, really well, but it wouldn't be indicative with him doing those sloppy ass Google searches, unless he thought it so methodically through to even going to trial. But I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I think he's a dumb criminal. So no, I don't think that he was so methodical as to I don't think he was so methodical as to have been like, okay, I'm planning to kill her, but I want to make it look like I really am happy with her as I'm planning to kill her. But I do think that he was smart enough to just be like, oh my God, you know, like I want things. I mean, maybe he wanted things to work with her. You know, maybe he was just genuinely, he felt threatened because she was cheating and he was trying to do what he could to save her and save his relationship with her. And then at the very moment on New Year's Day, he realized, okay, I've lost her, and if I can't have her, nobody can. You know what I mean? That's what the evidence is kind of pointing to here. But premeditated, I just don't think that the Commonwealth should have even gone with that. Because I mean, it just doesn't look that way. This guy's making some good points here. He's like, how do you fucking, I mean, okay, he buys her he wants to buy her a Porsche. They're joking around through text messages, having a nice, they seem to have the same great banter. So yeah, I mean, I think that this guy has thought about killing his wife, sure, but I don't think that he planned it.
And those texts lead right up until she arrives by plane in Cohasset to celebrate. So, context. Once again, divorce? About 11 minutes of talking about divorce and searching about divorce in 7 days of phone calls. And how did that divorce search come up? It came up in the context of protecting the family assets because they just sold the house in Revere that Jim Mutlow told you about. And they're trying to protect it. And the thought is to roll it over in a 1053C. And Mr. Mutlow explained that to you. Planning for the future. That is the relationship between Brian Walshe and Anna Walshe in the days leading up to January 1st. So now we have come to just the evidence that, once again, just explains their relationship. Not supposition. Not trying to make up what they said to each other. You have that in their text. You have that. Then we get to New Year's Eve. We get to a festive event, jovial, laughter, love, described in various terms, various ways. Not for 30 minutes, not for 1 hour, but for 5 or 6 hours. Laughter, talking about the future. Jim Mutlow described it for you. Brian Walshe cooking, standing across from
Yeah, Kasi, I get that. You're saying, premeditation doesn't really take a long time, but I don't buy the premeditation though. I'll tell you why. Another reason why I don't buy the meditation, the whole premeditation theory that he planned this ahead of time. I think that shit, I totally forgot what I was going to say. Fuck. I was thinking of a good point here. Maybe I need to listen to this guy again.
And it's not for 1 hour, but for 5 or 6 hours. Laughter, talking about the future. Jim Mutlow described it for you. Brian Walshe cooking, standing across from the island, feeding both of them, talking, laughing. You see,
Yeah, for sure.
testimony.
It's so
that,
bad.
Yes, there was an affair. He didn't know it. He loved his wife. He treated his wife like the wife he loved, the mother of his children, until the sudden, unexpected event happened. Imagine you are so in love. You support your wife to get a job in D.C. You're going to take care of the kids because, one, you love your children, but you want to take care of them.
I remember what I was going to say now. So another thing is like the reason why I don't think that this was premeditated, like this guy has already too much heat on him. He's already been convicted of fraud. He's got way too much heat on him. There's no, like, anybody who's planning a murder, there's no way that he could rationally come to the conclusion that he could get away with it if he's already got so much heat on him for something already. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense. That's totally, in my opinion, an absolute crime of passion. I think he tried to plan the disposal of the body once the crime of passion took place. I do believe this was a crime of passion. I think that he was doing everything he could. He didn't want to lose her. She was the only thing left in his life that mattered. The only chance that he had of any taste of freedom. If he had to face going to prison alone and she's already moving on with her life with some other dude, he's panicking. He's in full panic mode. It hits him at just the right moment where he realizes he's all alone. And being all alone in his position means death, means you might as well not exist, means it full fuck it mode. What do I have to lose? Literally nothing. So if I can't have her, nobody can.
You want to share property and protect the assets, so everything goes into her name to protect it, because he has this.
And it goes into what motivates him to be a con man. Entitlement, right? Someone who is like, oh, well, forget going out and earning an honest living and really embracing the concept of integrity behind every decision that I make in trying to provide for myself and my loved ones. What I'm going to do is I'm going to find shortcuts because I'm entitled to being a man. I'm entitled to the same stuff that other people have. So I'm just going to take it. And that is the kind of attitude that this guy in full fuck it mode is gonna probably have. Someone of that nature is going to go, well, my wife is a possession that I'm entitled to like anything else. And so, since my trophy wife, who's way too good for me, way out of my league, now I'm realizing this is the rock bottom that I've always feared, that I've always been insecure about when being with her. Now it's a reality, and now I have nothing to lose. So if I can't have her, nobody can. She has to die. That's what I think happened in his mind.
Case. So let's protect our financials for the future. And then you hear the testimony of Alyssa Kirby. Yes, she was upset. There's no doubt Anna Walsh was upset. What exactly she was upset about? Maybe things weren't going really well in the affair she was having. Or maybe she was, in fact, stressed out. Who wouldn't be? They were living apart. She wasn't seeing her children. Now, maybe, it's up to her. Anna Walsh was a wonderful person and a wonderful mother. And that's why he loved her so much. But she had another life, and she went to Dublin, and that's another piece of evidence. They want to suggest to you he knows something about Dublin. Where?
Right. But I'm saying it's next to impossible to prove. You know what I'm saying? Like it's next to impossible to prove. Like given the evidence, there's nothing for him to be upset about or angry about. I'm saying the prosecution dropped the ball here. They could have really built a case. They could have really painted a picture here, but they didn't.
Is the evidence of that? None. And you hear Alyssa Kirby.
That's all the point I'm trying to make. Thank you, Kasi.
Sobbing on the stand, but nonetheless recalling a conversation she had on 12/29, 3 days before January 1st. What does Anna tell her? Well, I don't know if I love him as much as I used to. Those are her words. I'm paraphrasing, but that was the gist of it. But I want him to take responsibility. Why? Not so she could kick him out, not so she could leave him, so they could reunite as a family. That was what Anna Walsh was talking about. That's what she was thinking, even though she was stressed, even though she was upset. And things like that happen in families, but families make it through. And that's what she was expressing.
Yeah. Now, again, we haven't heard, or I haven't heard the prosecution's closing arguments yet. So that should be interesting.
What she was expressing to her best friend, Alyssa Kirby. Could I exhibit 169, please? We are now
Yeah, I heard good things about it.
New Year's Eve party, and they sign the champagne.
I just wish I could speed this up because I'm not trying to make this a 5-hour live either. You know what I mean?
The feelings and the emotions and the state of mind of Anna Walsh and Brian Walsh, and looking towards the future. And this is on January 1st. This is on the day that the tragedy happened. Can you find it? I'm sorry, 169. Oh, I apologize. My fault. I'm
All right.
sorry.
I will.
And looking towards the future. And this is
Oh, look.
January.
Yeah.
This is on the day that the tragedy happened. Can you find
Thank you for that.
it? 169. Oh, I apologize. My fault. I'm sorry. Is it 257? And that's the champagne.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And what are the words?
I look forward
What are
to
you?
it as well. Thank
Yet
you,
we are still here.
Proctorial Misconduct.
Let's make 2023 the best one yet. We are the authors of our lives. Courage, love, perseverance, compassion. Those are the words of Anna Walsh talking to her husband. Look what she says. What a year, and yet we are still here. What does that tell you? Yes, they had been through a lot. She missed her children. What mother wouldn't? But they were working toward the future. And one final thing about the state of mind of Brian Walsh at this period of time. He made reservations for a New Year's Day dinner, so he could be alone with his wife. And the evidence of that is in these records. And I'm not going to have it called up. I'll just tell you. Exhibit 79, page 186, record 682. That's the data. He's researching where to take her out. And you'll see a reference to Nightingale, a restaurant that I asked Trooper Keith about. A restaurant that's right on the line to Marble Head's dinner. Exhibit 59, at 1227. Those records indicate that Mr. Walsh credit card used to reserve dinner for $573.76. So him and Anna could spend New Year's Day celebrating. And exhibit 170, a text from Nightshade Restaurant itself, acknowledging the reservation. And those were the plans being made. And the government will suggest that's some kind of evidence of premeditation. Well, it's not any evidence of anything but love. And I'll just tell you, when you look at that evidence, you'll see that that email exchange was deleted. It's right there in the evidence. And then you heard the federal probation officer saying he wouldn't be allowed to go there. He'd have to get permission. So yes, Mr. Walsh lied to his probation officer for what reason? So he could take his wife out for a New Year's dinner, and that evidence. And the evidence that you saw in that champagne box is what their life was right at the moment.
I mean, that's ballsy. Like, he lied to his probation officer so he could fucking kill her. You know what I mean? Like, wouldn't they? They're bound to find out. But I honestly feel that at the moment when he killed her, he didn't care whether or not he could get away with it. That's what I think. And then he was like, well, fuck, I got to clean this up.
That is the evidence. I'm sorry I talked for so long. I apologize. Mr. Walsh loved Anna Walsh, the mother of his 3 children. There's no evidence that he deliberately premeditated a murder. There's no evidence that he ever intended to kill Anna Walsh. None whatsoever. Mr. Walsh is not guilty. He's not guilty.
First, can I take a moment to stand up?
No, I think he's too stupid to have planned it like this.
When you're ready, you may proceed. Yeah, here's the closing arguments of the Commonwealth. 88 yes.
Look at that, bro. Look at that honker on this guy. I wonder if Nurse Kim and Jimmy like have a thing for old Brian Walsh here because of his honker.
You may proceed.
Anna Walsh is dead. Anna Walsh is dead because he murdered her.
Boom,
Her death.
bro. Like right immediately. Anna Walsh is dead because he murdered her. Amazing.
She's not missing. She never walked out of her class at home on January 1st of 2023 between 6 and 7 a.m. to take an Uber to Logan Airport. She wasn't going to D.C. for a work emergency. There was no emergency. She didn't say goodbye to her son. That's just a story that the defendant told people. But since January 1st, Anna Walsh has not been seen by her friends, her coworkers, or by the people who loved her. Anna didn't take an Uber. She didn't take a Lyft. She hasn't used her phone. Her phone had no contact with the Verizon network since January 2nd, 2023, but it was in the vicinity of 516 Chief Justice Cushing Highway. She hasn't used her bank accounts.
What's up, Lauren?
Passports, her credit cards, her email. She didn't vanish. The defendant was the only adult at 516 Chief Justice Cushing Highway after Jim Blue left around 1:30 a.m. on New Year's Day. After he left, Anna was home alone with the defendant and their 3 sons, ages 2, 4, and 6. This defendant caused Anna's death, and the evidence does show me that. The evidence shows you that Anna didn't die, but that Anna died a violent death in her class at home on January 1st. You have the photos of those pieces of rug recovered from the dumpster at the defendant's mother's car. The rug that had been in the living room.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't do anything about that sound. That's the best I got.
On top of the rug. The photo shows that there are wood floors in that room. There's blood on that rug. The rug was recovered from the compactor outside of the defendant's mother's apartment and taken to the office of the chief medical examiner for examination. And Dr. Atkinson found a blood clot and a piece of Anna's Gucci necklace embedded in one of the cut-out pieces of rug. So look at the piece of metal stamped Gucci. It didn't break on its own.
I'll
The rest of
compromise
the necklace is missing.
and make it.
This is the necklace that Will Faxdown said that Anna often wore. Look at the slippers from the dumpster. The 2 pairs of adult slippers. The dark gray slippers have hair and blood clocked to the bottom. And the DNA testing tells you that the slippers have the DNA of Anna Walsh and the DNA of the defendant. Then there's the bathrobe. And there are 2 bloody white towels. A towel was tested that had Anna's DNA. Why did the defendant throw those items out? Because they had Anna's blood on them. And the evidence shows you this because the defendant was researching cleaning. How to clean blood from what floors? Does a dishwasher clean blood? Is it possible to clean DNA off knife? The defendant still had a cut on his thumb on January 9th, 2023. And on January 1st, before he even went to Lowe's to buy any cutting instruments.
Yeah, see, what I'm predicting is murder 2. And I think that Brian Walsh's attorneys have already prepared him for a murder 2 conviction.
An An initial stop that he made when he left his house was to go to Walgreens to buy antibiotic ointment and Band-Aids. Then he went to Bin and Liquors, where the manager identified the defendant, and the defendant threw a bag into the dumpster. Store is closed. The parking lot is empty. He's not yet gone to Lowe's. On January 2nd of 2023, the defendant went to Home Goods because he had to buy a new rug for that living room to cover the hardwood floor. He did this days before the forensic scientist got to the house and knew that the rug had been changed. Anna Walshe dying a sudden death from natural causes defies common sense. She was in great shape. The defendant told police that Anna was a sturdy Serbian woman. Listen carefully to his recorded interviews, because those are his words after her death. After he killed her.
Sturdy Serbian
Also,
woman.
told you that Anna had the highest health rating of the life insurance company. Anna had to complete an interview, have blood drawn, provide her medical records, and the life insurance company and the underwriters gave her this health rating. Anna was an active person.
So you got to remember what's kept out of the defense's closing arguments. I didn't hear anything about an insurance policy. She had a life insurance policy. That's motive.
Care of her health. Ashley Samino, her bar instructor, told you about this exercise class that she took the morning of December 31st, 2022. And I was the type of person, she said, who made others want to work harder in their exercise class. Will Castro told you that Anna was very active and did yoga together. Sergeant Amy Waterman.
Well, you don't clean blood out of a concrete floor. Yeah, exactly. I didn't even read the last, because I was just about to say, you ask Brian Albert what you do with a fucking floor, with a concrete floor. You fucking get rid of it. You don't fucking clean it. You don't try to clean it.
And Dr. Atkinson told you about the different ways a person can die, and that it's extremely rare for a 39-year-old in good health to suddenly die of unknown causes.
Bullshit, yeah.
It's not possible for the medical examiner to tell you the exact cause of Anna Walshe's death. No autopsy can be done. The defendant deliberately got rid of Anna Walshe's body.
Right.
The defendant did not want anyone to find Anna's body and to know how she died. So the defendant bought cutting tools at Lowe's and Home Depot, and he cut up Anna's body, the woman that he claimed to love, and he threw her into dumpsters. He was hiding her body.
Right. Murderers do that.
The defendant intended to kill Anna Walshe. He didn't just want her dead, he needed her dead. This was a marriage in crisis, and it was heading towards a breaking point. It began with the defendant's federal case. And through the defendant's interview and his federal probation officer, you learned that the defendant was on home confinement. He was going to have to pay over $400,000 in restitution, and the case had been pending since 2018. You also learned that the defendant had no assets. He told Jamulu that he only made $50,000 to $60,000 that year, but he had told the police that he had businesses that were not making any money at all. Peter Capozoli told you that the defendant's mother had signed the lease for the Cohasset home, and it was his mother that was paying.
And muriatic acid, I mean, you can get at any swimming pool supply store. Like, we had muriatic acid at my house in Miami. We had a pool.
His rent. Meanwhile, Anna was beginning to thrive. The marriage was beginning to deteriorate. Anna had her dream job. She had risen to become an executive at Tishman Speyer, and she was making close to $300,000 a year. She earned a bonus. And Teresa Marchese said that Anna was a good employee. And the defendant knew this. He bragged of her bonus and salary. She bought a townhouse, and she furnished that townhouse for her family, and she set up bedrooms for each of her 3 boys. But the reality was, the family couldn't join her because the defendant.
I would pour muriatic acid on anthills, on fire anthills that got right on my, like, on the edge of my concrete in the backyard. That shit was, yeah, that shit did some damage. That shit must have been pure hell to that colony.
With him, being the primary caregiver allowed him to avoid prison. The separation of the defendant and Anna was taking a toll. Anna wanted the children with her, and Anna began a relationship with Bill Fastow, which became more serious. The defendant and Anna were growing up.
Yeah, so he probably had muriatic acid.
Anna struggled not having her children and not being able to be the mother that she wanted.
That's what I'm saying.
This got worse when Anna took a trip to Serbia.
Peter can kiss my ass.
Anna and Bill Fastow spent the Thanksgiving holiday first in Dublin before Anna went to Serbia. And Anna bought her plane ticket with the credit card that the defendant monitored. And the defendant told police that he monitored their joint Chase Freedom credit card statement. The MacBook history also shows the defendant looking at the Chase account. The defendant knew about Anna's travel because in a recorded interview, he told the police that she had a layover in Frankfurt, and that connection in Frankfurt is on the same credit card statement. And you can see that, it's right in front of you. The defendant was angry about Anna missing Thanksgiving, and he mentioned it repeatedly when he spoke to investigators.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
got angry about
It is.
Thanksgiving, and then I realized I was just sad that we're not spending a lot of time together. And she was sad about it too, and it was exhausting for both of us. She was away from the boys, I was also away from the boys.
Anna returned from Serbia in December, but she only spent one day in Cohasset. And she was supposed to come home.
Yeah, I know.
Christmas morning, but she missed her early.
The first time I got attacked by fire ants, first time I stepped in a fire ant hill and got attacked by fire ants, I think I was 4 years old, and I was playing outside with my brother in Dominican Republic, and I thought I couldn't describe what I was feeling. It was the worst pain in the world. I was crying, I was screaming, and yeah, I remember my grandmother throwing me in the shower and, you know, trying to comfort me. I remember that. Yeah, crazy. I remember seeing a tarantula for the first time. Only time, really. It was right around that same time. And we were hanging out at another friend of ours' back porch. And this fucking tarantula I came up. I'll never forget this. Big ass fucking tarantula. And this lady came out, like, I guess it was his aunt or grandmother or something. And she came out with a bowl and an utensils, like a fork and knife, and then like stuck the tarantula and then flipped it over into the bowl and took the bowl with the tarantula inside the house. What she did with it, I have no idea. No idea. That's what I saw her do. It's a very vivid memory. But that was the only time I ever saw. And yeah, like living in Miami, I stepped in a few ant piles as well. That's no fun. I remember my friend Scott, the one who got murdered. He slept on an anthill by accident. Like, he ate a bunch of roofies, got fucked up the night before, and then passed out like on an anthill on the golf course, and and woke up like with his whole side right here just fucking destroyed by ants because he just didn't feel it because he was fucked up on pills the night before. Went sleeping. Yeah. Didn't even feel it. Crazy.
And she couldn't get away, and then she had to drive up. And the defendant told police there was an argument.
I did have an argument with her for the Thanksgiving and then Christmas Eve, so I wasn't going to make the same mistake 3 times.
So what did the defendant do on Christmas Day when his wife wasn't home? He looked up Will Festo on his cell phone, a man his wife had just spent the night with. The defendant was losing Anna. Anna was missing her children and wanted to keep them. Anna quickly returned to D.C., and on December 27th, the defendant was looking up the best strategies to divorce for a man and the D.C. divorce laws. This was not to protect assets. That wasn't the search. The defendant told the police that everything was in Anna's name.
The Louis 75. Thank you for becoming a member.
And on December 29th, Anna spoke with General Blue and told him that she was upset about the travel, upset being separated from the children, upset about the defendant's federal case. It was ongoing. It was getting to be too much. On December 29th, Anna went out with Alyssa Curry, and she broke down. This strong Serbian woman who was supposed to be having a fun night out with a girlfriend, going to dance karaoke, instead broke down. Anna told Alyssa that she had told the defendant that he needed to take responsibility for the federal case, go to prison. She wanted the children with her in D.C., and she and the defendant not the incident close to a year. In Anna's mind, the matter was over. Anna even questioned if she could just take the children because she had already established a separate household. She said that she wasn't falling out of love with the defendant. And at home in Cohasset, what was the defendant doing? He was looking up the Mazda building and the FBI raid on the Crossing building. Looking up something that had happened in the spring of 2022 when Anna first started working for Tishman Snyder. Interestingly, this was when the defendant brought up something he brought up in his interviews when he lied about Anna having to leave early for work emergency. This phone for work emergency. The defendant was going to lose Anna, and when he lost Anna, he would probably lose his freedom. Anna would have a house in D.C. and a nice job, and he would likely go to jail. So the defendant pretended. He lulled Anna into thinking that everything was okay. He joked with her about Walshe. He didn't want her to realize that he was aware of the relationship with Will or her ability to leave him. He wasn't going to let Anna know that she wasn't saved. On December 31st of 2021, the defendant claimed that he could not find his phone. Why is that? The mislaid phone allowed the defendant to be unavailable for 2 days. The mislaid phone allowed him to carry out his plan uninterrupted.
Huh.
The mislaid phone allowed him to show the police when he eventually reports Anna as a missing person and not have the police question why he didn't contact Anna earlier. The evidence shows that the defendant was methodical. Just look at how he shopped at Lowe's with a list.
Well, okay. So prosecution is totally shutting down my theory. They're saying he was this methodical. Like from the get-go. He was absolutely this methodical from the get-go. That's fucking crazy.
Lulu came over for dinner on New Year's Eve, and the defendant told Jem that his phone was lost and it was free. Anna was texting throughout the night, including with Will Besser. This is now the third holiday where Anna was concentrating on the other man in her life. When Jem left, Anna was alone.
The third holiday.
The man she was cheating on, the man she was telling to take responsibility for his actions, and the man who had her children. The defendant murdered Anna that morning in their cohabited home. And this is what the internet history shows. His internet history, written words, he was looking at best way to dispose of a body. Better to throw away crime scene clothes or wash them. Crime scene. Can you be charged with murder without a body? Anna was dead. The defendant killed her, and he began researching how he got her money, how to repair it, how he got away with the crime.
Like he had to see that's what doesn't track. See, this is where I doubt the prosecution's case because that doesn't track. You can't out of one side of your mouth say he's this methodical and then on the other side of your mouth say that he's so stupid as to fucking not think that his searches are going to be that his searches aren't going to be discovered. It just doesn't make sense. You know what I mean?
Didn't know that his MacBook was syncing with his son's iPad, the same Apple ID. His demeanor changed during the interview on January 8th when the police mentioned the searches on the iPad.
And this is all theory.
Because the iPad involved his children. He had already involved the children in his lives. But because he knew he was quiet. We know he had already involved the 6-year-old when he had the 6-year-old say that he saw his mother when she left the house on the morning of January 1st. The son could not have seen Anna leave the house. The defendant had already killed her. Listen to the recorded interviews. During the January 5th interview, the defendant spoke about what his son supposedly had seen. And the defendant involved the 4-year-old by saying that the 4-year-old hid the defendant's iPhone 13 mini. So, the defendant's phone made a reservation at Nightshade Noodle Park for New Year's Day after the defendant told Anna that they were going to have a special party. This is ironic because the defendant was very clear with police on January 7th that he and Anna had plans for New Year's Day. And the defendant
Team Brittany, there's not going to be a verdict until Monday, at least. So you've got plenty of time to sleep.
also knew that he would be violating the terms of his federal probation by going to a restaurant on New Year's Day. But let's look closely at Exhibit 170 about the Nightshade Noodle reservation, which was on the defendant's iPhone Mini 13, which the defense just said was deleted. And if you look on page 2, on the bottom of one of the bubbles, you will see that the message was deleted on January 1st at 7:59 and 5 seconds a.m. This happens to be one of the times that the iPhone Mini 13 was unlocked when it was supposed to be missing. The forensics show that the defendant's phone was unlocked 4 times and it was plugged in on January 1st. You heard testimony that the phone had a password of 1912.
What's up, Mazza?
And in the January 4th recorded interview, you hear the oldest child needed help with his iPad password, which was 121212. The children didn't unlock the defendant's phone. The defendant blamed his misplaced phone on one of his children when he said that the children hid it. But it makes no sense that a 4-year-old somehow unlocked the defendant's phone and deleted that text reminder. Listen to the defendant's recorded interview. The deletion is made when the defendant is supposedly making French toast and playing with kids. The defendant had access to his phone. Context. defendant also had access to 2 other phones, when his phone was supposedly lost. He had Anna's phone, and he had the iPhone SE. And in the recorded interviews, the defendant told police that on New Year's Eve, Anna had an argument with a friend, and as a result, Anna put her phone upstairs in his bedroom.
You said she must put her phone upstairs after that? After that, she, let's say it's about 10 or 15, and then I remember putting her phone upstairs because she came back down without it.
Was Thomas came down at one point to hung out with you?
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Was this before, during, or after Thomas was participating?
Oh, yeah, Thomas went to bed, like he went to bed when he came over at like 9 or 10 or something. I think Anna took a bunch of photos. Jim and I don't have any because she didn't send them to us yet, but I think she sent one to Will Fasto. So that was when, that's when the photo was taken about. So it was 10 o'clock or something like that.
When we were upstairs, she put her phone there?
Yeah, on a bed stand.
That's not what Jem said. Jem said that Anna was using her phone all night. Melissa Kirby texted with Anna.
And how nonchalant he is, that's very telling as well. You know, when you hear him being interviewed, he seems like he just doesn't really give a fuck. He's totally cool. He's taking sips of whatever he's drinking. Oh, yeah, blah 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 blah. Right. I mean, it's telling as to how it's telling as to his confidence. But the problem is that there's just so much that makes him look like a fucking sleazy fuck that the confidence is a bad look instead of a good one. Karen Reed's confidence was a good look. This is a bad look.
It was telling investigators a story about on the phone. How else do we know that the defendant intended to kill Anna and had a plan for doing so? Look at his internet history. Look at what he did. The defendant set up an area in his basement, surrounded it with plastic sheeting or a tie-back suit, and dismembered his wife. The love of his life.
Skeevy.
Tool for dismembering the body. Then, the defendant got rid of Anna's body. He got rid of her belongings. He got rid of her clothes and bag that he told police that she had, that she supposedly left on January 1st. He threw her in the garbage bags, tossed those garbage bags in different dumpsters. Disposing her body in trash. Adam West, apartment number 1, the Claremont apartment. And please confirm this with the
Right.
data from the SE phone and the iPhone 13 mini. The evidence shows the defendant did this to hide the fact that he murdered her.
Yeah, he's your MLM type of guy, you know? He's the guy that thinks that he could sell fucking ice to an Eskimo. You know what I mean? Like he's the guy that thinks that he's just the shit, you know? You know those MLM types, those guys who are like who like wake up fucking early in the morning and they're like, all right, you're gonna, and they affirm themselves in the mirror and shit. You know what I mean? You're going to take over the world one day. Everything that you desire is going to be yours. Nobody can stop you. You're the shit. You're the shit. You're the shit. You're the shit. Say it again. You're the shit. That's totally that kind of guy. I fucking hate those dudes. MLM stands for multi-level marketing. And it's like pyramid schemes, you know, those guys. Like I remember, dude, looking for a job when you had no skills in the 90s was so fucking hard through like the newspaper, because you'd see things that'd be like no experience necessary, blah 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 blah, and then you call the number and then they tell you, oh yeah, we'll schedule you for an interview. You get there, it's not an interview at all. It's a fucking presentation. It's a presentation with a guy and he's going, have you ever thought about being rich? And I can make you rich, but it matters how much you put into it. We sell these units. You go and you get a certain percentage of everything that you sell. And it's like, you're like, wait a second, man. I needed a job. This is a job. You work hard, you make money. And, you know, I tried it. I did it for like 2 days. But what you are is one of those people that when you're getting your fucking haircut, they walk into the barber shop wearing a tie, holding a box, and going, hey, have you guys heard about the promotion today? Check it out. We got these computer mice, bro. We got these things right here, dude. Like they're wireless, bro. Look, no wires. See that? The thing, it's got so many buttons that I accidentally kicked myself out of my own fucking presentation. See that? It's got lasers, bro. Laser sensors. Okay. That's what they do. That's him. Except he rips people off. He's like, that's small potatoes. I'm going to fucking forge paintings and sell those.
Murdered Anna. He could not let Anna's body be found because Anna didn't die of natural causes. The defendant murdered Anna, and then he had to hide the evidence of his crime. In his mindset, within his internet history, want to get away with murder, use a special detergent. Can you be charged with murder without a body? Best way to dispose of body parts after murder. When you deliberate, look through the binder of the MacBook internet history.
They always say
There
that.
are no searches of natural causes of death.
You guys heard about the promotion today?
Or non-human children when someone dies unexpectedly or goes missing. The defendant was not sad. Look at his demeanor in the surveillance.
Those fuckers used to come into the tattoo shop all the time. You guys heard about the promotion today? And you always like, yo, what do you got? Especially around the holidays. I'd always look and see what they got. There might be some chick who I'm banging and she's got a kid. You know what I mean? And like spending $10 on some bullshit that he's got in a box is not going to hurt. You know what I mean? Like it didn't hurt. You know what I mean? I always was like, yeah, let me see what you got, dude. But like maybe 5% of the time I bought something.
He's cool and calculating. He's calm. He had plans. On January 1st, he went to the Lowe's store an hour away, even though there were hardware stores approximately a mile from his house. And when he was in Lowe's on January 1st, he wore a mask and he wore gloves and he had a list of what he was shopping for. He was calm as he helped bag the purchases. A hacksaw, buckets. He used cash. Does this show confusion, panic, or fear? But he didn't stop there. He went to CVS to buy hydrogen peroxide. And then he went to Stop and Shop to buy ammonia. No wonder the house was so clean.
Hey man, my mom did Amway for a while. She was good at it too.
Where he bought buckets with lids this time, baking soda, and a hatchet. And at some point that day, he got a call from his probation officer, and he lied, and he said that he was picking up his children. He was able to calmly speak with her. No panic. He had everything now that he needed to dismember the woman that he supposedly loved. And he started to take her body and to throw it into dumpsters, because he had to cover up the crime to get rid of the evidence of the murder. This was not a man in crisis. This was a man who on January 4th went to TJ Maxx to buy pants with a store exchange card. He was calm. But Alyssa Kirby texted him on January 4th asking about Anna, and so he called Tishman Spire a few minutes later and started to pretend to look for her. He called Will Fastow, but he didn't leave a message. He called back later, and then he calmly left the voicemail. No panic. The defendant knew where Anna was. The defendant even texted Anna's sister in Canada and said that she was missing. He was methodical. Look at the text messages. And at 4:30 p.m. on January 4th, the defendant went to Lowe's to buy a trash can. Comfortable. Not compact. The police would come to the house and talk about Anna. And the defendant had the house ready. The police think his life is in D.C. He had his phone ready, and he sent text messages to Anna, even though he knew she would never see him. Despite everything that he had done, on January 2nd, the defendant wrote a text message to Anna. I still love you. Ha ha. His Jim. The defendant prevented anyone from ever finding Anna's body and no autopsy.
That kind of comes off as menacing, though. I still love you. Ha ha. What?
all that remains of Anna are 2 hairs, some blood, and a few things that belong there. A part of a necklace she often wore, her hunter boots, a black jacket, a purse, her COVID card, and a few other items in the dumpster in his mother's apartment complex. The defendant searched his MacBook for a murder conviction with alibi. Please do not allow the defendant's self-serving act of dismembering and disposing of Anna's body to let him get away with this murder. At the start of this trial, we asked you to use your common sense. When you do that, when you analyze the evidence that you deliberate and continue to use your common sense, you will see that the evidence shows there's only one.
She's way out of his league.
Find the defendant is guilty of the premeditated first-degree murder of Anna Walshe.
Dude, we had so much Amway shit in our house.
I will see counsel at the side of the bench.
So much Amway shit at the fucking underneath our sink.
If you're ready for the bathroom, let us know when you're ready to come back out. I'll be at yours.
Is that it for the closing arguments? Yeah, I don't need to hear the judges. Yeah, okay. So I don't know, man. Like, yeah, I'm leaning murder too.
I'll give you a quick break as well, but something's been on my mind that I want to discuss now that the closing arguments are over. And that is, I had asked in connection, this relates to the sentencing, at least for the other 2 counts, and asked the Commonwealth to provide victim impact statements for any immediate family members of Anna Walshe that wish to provide information, and I haven't received that yet. And there might be a good reason for that. I told you that I was putting off the sentencing until we had a verdict on the charge of murder. Now that it's a Friday, and I don't want this to linger over into the next week, has the Commonwealth...
See, I told you guys it was Friday.
Family Services.
Your Honor, we've been in touch with them. They are working on their impact statement. They were hoping to have the impact statement impounded. And I can, as soon as we're done here with the charge, I will speak to the attorney that I've been dealing with. They've been working very hard on this. They're certainly working
Team
on
Brittany, oh my God.
the children and the
I think there's
social
a valid price.
Another
Some
gifted
children are
membership.
highly
Thank
likely
you
to
so
impound
much.
Obviously, with the exception of...
social worker privilege, so they're concerned about that as well. But as soon as we break, I will be happy to have that conversation.
Well, I'm happy to hear that there's forward progress because I guess I assumed, because I hadn't heard anything, that you were still not getting the answers to the questions you were asking.
No, quite the opposite. They've been working very hard on this.
All right, I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Anything anyone needs before I step off the bench briefly? Thank you.
All right. Okay. Give me 1 second here, folks. All right, folks. Thank you so much. Wait a second. What?
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
I think we got a super dad. Super dad. I think we got a super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Super dad. 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 I think we got a super dad.
How dare you?
Triceratops, the number's right here. Triceratops. You get to call in right now. Triceratops. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, you know what helps? If I do this. Here we go. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a weird thing, man. The kids' impact statements.
Call from Paige.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Hi, it's from Sarah.
You gotta turn me down in the background there.
Yep. Hi, it's from.
You gotta.
I got you.
Okay. Who am I speaking with?
Well, my name's Paige. My first name's Sarah, so that's why it's Triceratops.
Oh, okay. Right on.
Yeah. I just wanted to say hi. I love you.
Right on. Thanks. Well, hi.
You're so cute.
Oh, thanks. Okay.
So handsome. So I don't think it was actually like, I think he was pondering whether or not he might do it. Like, I think it was in the back of his head more than it was like, sorry, I just like smoked. So there's that. But I think it was like in the back of the head that like he might do it. And then like that night, and especially after she didn't come home on Christmas, he was like, yeah, I'm pissed.
Right.
Like, it's going down.
Yeah. I don't think that he planned like that. I think he planned he was gonna do it, but I don't think he planned on how he was gonna do it and when he was gonna do it necessarily.
Agreed. And I don't think that he was like I think he was gonna see how it went when she came home. And then when she came home, things weren't exactly what he wanted them to be. And he was like, well, you know what? I'm going to get some insurance money.
Like, you can feel that shit, man. You can feel that
what
shit.
Do you mean?
When it's not there anymore, dude, it's a very mutual thing. Like, when you first hook up with somebody, right? Like, unless you're one of those people who just don't get any pleasure, you know, like a nymphomaniac, you know what I mean? But when you like when you actually like connect with somebody,
when you like actually care about somebody,
you could feel their vibe too. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a connection when it first happens. That's why people are like, yo, you know, let's be together. You know what I mean? There's a connection, true connection that happens. And then when
I don't think it's there with
when it's not there, it's, you know, you can sense it.
And I think that I don't think he has the capability of that. And I think that he wants her for
that's a possibility too. I mean, he might not even be capable of those kind of feelings. You're right. Steph Dubs 84 just gifted 10 memberships. I gotta give her a round of
I'll leave you alone. Somebody waiting.
Okay, what was that? Sorry about that.
If there's somebody waiting,
no, go ahead.
I'll stop talking. No, I feel like he's just like a greasy motherfucker.
He is. He's a fucking greaseball, dude. Like, he's a fucking he's sleazy, just your typical atypical fucking sleazeball. You know, like he's the kind of guy that wore a lot of rings and chains in the 70s. You know what I mean? If it was the 70s, he'd be wearing he'd be wearing a vinyl jacket with fucking medallions and a bunch of rings, and he'd be a big cokehead. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. And like I'm one of the people that like very much like Jimmy and Kim are talking about like a fucked up beak. I love a fucked up nose. His nose is too fucking far.
Wow. Okay. Like, so it's too fucked up for you, is what you're saying.
If he had a good personality, I could deal with it.
But he doesn't, clearly. Like,
No, he doesn't. He's
but
a shithead.
right. But he did pull off the cons. He just got caught, but he
Ew,
pulled
no,
off the
and
cons, which means that you have to have some level of personality. Like, now that we see him in the light that we do, it's like, okay, we see the sleazeball. But if you don't, then, and you're the kind of person to give somebody the benefit of the doubt, you're going to tell me that, he doesn't have
And
the
I am that
personality
person.
to
I'm
fool
too
you,
much
possibly?
that person.
You're too what?
I'm too much that person. I give the benefit of the doubt to
Okay, I see what you're saying. You're way too
every which
likely.
way
Yeah,
I
yeah,
want.
yeah, yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, so if you're more likely to be that person, then, and he's a con artist, he has to have some sort of, personality to be able to pull that off. You know what I mean? Like,
And I get it.
I feel like
all,
he's the
like,
kind of guy that once he
therapy.
shows you enough signs, you start to go, okay, this dude, all right, man. You know what I mean? Like, I know people like that too, where I'm just like, at first, I'm just like, oh man, this guy's great. I love this fucking guy. He's hilarious. He's fucking fun. And then a few later on, you start to see things and you start to see self-serving behavior and you start to be like, okay, all right, man, I smell you now. It's okay.
Yeah.
You shit your pants, didn't you? Like, like that's yeah.
Well, I'm the dumb one that would be like, try to keep the person like placated by getting in the stupid car.
Right.
That's me. So.
Oh
not
man,
a good quality, but
I mean, no,
anyway.
it's not a bad quality. You know what I mean? It's like, there's nothing wrong with giving people the benefit of the doubt and thinking the best in people. Like, as long as you can handle disappointment, like that's the whole thing. It's just like, I
that's the best advice I've ever gotten.
Well, it's true because, like, as long as you can handle being heartbroken, like, and you can really enjoy the people in your life who aren't like that, you know what I mean, and think of them as blessings, you're always good. You know what I'm saying? Team Brittany gifted 5 memberships.
Good job, Brittany.
Thank you so much, Team Brittany. You're way too goddamn generous.
I can't believe I'm talking to you.
Well, you are.
Well, if you have anybody calling in,
all right,
I'll give you up.
Yeah, Team Brittany seems to be wanting to call in, so I'm going to go ahead and give her a chance. Thanks for calling, Triceratops.
I love you.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right.
Call from
Robert.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Yeah, hello. This is specially appointed prosecutor Robert Cosgrove.
Oh my God, people! It is, yes, specially appointed prosecutor Robert Cosgrove. Everyone, it's amazing.
How's it going there, Will Blair?
It's going fantastic, sir. It's really great to hear from you as always. How are you?
Well, I'm hanging in there, as they say.
Yeah, hanging in there. Okay. Yeah, I'm hanging in there as well. One might one might consider me hung.
All right.
I mean, did you see what I did there? Did you see what I did there? One might consider me hung.
you like to hang around with people. I get it.
I like to hang around with people.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, of course.
But what are we talking about? Crazy ass Brian Walsh?
We are talking about crazy ass Brian Walsh, sir.
Yeah, the premeditated thing is it's interesting. A lot of people tie planning to it. It doesn't necessarily mean that. In Massachusetts, I will read directly from the statute here at the office. I'm here at the office late.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm really
And,
curious to know what a man of the robe, a man of the bench, thinks of this case.
Well, thank you. It's interesting in a few different ways. I don't know that I think that you brought up a good point
Today, Junior.
when you said now I've lost my train of thought like you did a little while ago.
That's okay.
But I'm old.
I can hear your brain. We can hear it.
Well, there's smoke coming out of my ears, which you cannot see right now.
Right.
But okay, so in Massachusetts, premeditation for first-degree murder means a defendant formed the intent to kill after a period of reflection, however brief, okay, which can be seconds or minutes. It is, but you were also right in the fact that all the searches that he made came after the fact, so they don't have anything beforehand pointing to the planning.
Right.
So I think that's a question for the fact finder, and they will come to that conclusion. So, but a lot of people think premeditation, they've done it for a day, they've done it for a week, they've planned it all out. That's not premeditation, as it were. So,
right.
I just wanted to make that clear.
And yeah, I mean, and look, we've, this is what the Glare Institute of Law and stuff provides here is analysis, sound analysis on a trial that I didn't even fucking watch. Okay. Sound analysis.
All I did is watch the opening and the closing. Yeah, I didn't. It was boring to me.
It's all you need at the Glare Institute of Law and stuff. It's all you need, bro.
Yeah, I am I'm a proponent of the Will Glare Institute of Law and stuff. I think it's a good institution.
It is,
and I think people should sign up and send money to keep it going.
Absolutely. And you can get your official Glare Institute of Law and stuff gear. But Cherry's fun.
True.
It's in the description. The link's in the description.
Yep. You can also make your name green.
You can,
which a lot of people like.
They do.
So like Kermit the Frog says, it's not easy being green. Right?
It's not. I mean, just ask Cryford, Mr. Green with Envy. It's not easy for him.
Yeah, Cryford.
Of course he says it is. Of course he says it is. My man says, what was it? My life is good, and that's the best revenge, bitch.
Dude, I've been running around saying that to myself for days. Like, I'll just be hanging around and I'll be like, and that's the best revenge, bitch.
I love it. It's so good.
It's the best line ever.
It is. It is. It's fantastic. Like, I'll never ever forget it. Like, that's right up. That's right up there with "Listen, Turtle." It's right up there.
Yeah. It's right up. Right. Yeah. I mean,
how
that has
dare
provided
you? That
me
one
days
too.
of enjoyment.
Yeah. I mean, the Grant Smith Ellis lines.
Yeah.
I am disabled.
Yeah, I'm disabled. That's assault.
These
people are going to eject you from this line.
That's assault.
That's assault. That's assault.
Dude,
drop that chair, man. Drop that chair, man.
I'm trying to tell you, man, like, this fucking movement has had the most interesting characters ever. Like, if these people aren't like featured in the Turtle Boy movie, like, there aren't people playing like Grant Smith Ellis, I'm gonna be like, fuck, that's bullshit.
Yeah,
somebody needs to play Grant. Like, you got to give him. Yeah, somebody has to play Grant.
He's funny. I went on his presentation a couple of weeks ago just to check it out. And he made a couple good points, and I said, "Hey, Grant, you're on the right track there." And he did. And 2 seconds later, he made
knows
me
how
a
to make
mod.
good points. Well, yeah, because everybody's a fucking mod on his channel, dude.
And I was
everybody
what?
has a wrench on his channel, like everyone.
And then this is the true story. And then we proceeded to play not Jeopardy, but trivia.
Okay.
And I got 2 answers correctly before anybody else, and he gypped me. And he's like, "Oh, sorry, Cossy, you lost that one." I'm like, "No, I didn't, Grant. I won that one."
Fucking bullshit. You got robbed.
It was a low level troll, and I'm like, "That's all right, Grant. I understand. I was pretty awful to you on X a few times, so you got me back."
Now let me ask you this. So tonight, I mean, let's address the elephant in the room. Tonight,
all right,
Ray from Dallas is scheduled to have Gatuni on as a guest. How do you feel about that? What are your thoughts?
Well, she's going to go on there and possibly incriminate herself, so I feel good about it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I might drop in and listen for a moment just to see what it is, but I'm really not. I don't see having enough interest in it to even chime in on it at all, because it's the thing is like, listen, I'm not going to forget the person that I know, like, for the last 2 years that has been this person that, you know what I mean? All of a sudden it's like, yay, team Gatuni. And I'm just like, have we, like, I'm grateful that she's helping Aiden right now. That's cool. Great. It's the least she could do.
Yes.
But I'm not forgetting that this is that person. You know what I mean? Like,
let us never forget.
Right.
What
am I crazy? Am I the dick here? You know what I mean?
No. And also, let us never forget the audio from the Mary Bagwell incident.
I mean, come on. All of it.
You fucking bitch, I will come here, I'll fucking cut your fucking head off. I was like, whoa.
This is not that long ago, people. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
it's not ancient history.
Right, no. Right. It is not.
I will come there and murder your fucking kids. And I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
That was aggressive.
Yeah.
But Gatuni, he's an interesting study for sure. I mean, I'll be tuning in.
Right. Like, I don't like, I'm curious to know exactly what the nature of the conversation is. I'm also, let's just be honest here, I'm also interested in what the dynamic between Ray and Gattuti is going to be like. That's going to be an interesting dynamic. Like the conversation will be interesting, you know. But
Well,
like
I
the
think
nature of the conversation, I can't imagine being very interested in.
Right, but I think hold on, I'm not even talking in Cossie voice anymore. I think I think that well, he's going to be very nice to her because he's all about the goat, and his thing is she's helping the goat. So I think he's going to be very respectful to her, unless he pulls a Mary Bagwell on him or something, which I don't see happening.
Yeah, no, I think he's going to be nice to her, and I don't want him to be faulted for being kind to her. He invited her on the channel. He's,
Right. Yeah,
going to give her a voice. But what it's going to be is she's going to, it's going to be like, she's going to start going off on certain people that I don't even want to talk about anymore, and it's going to be all about that. And it's going to be like this weird, like cat fight type situation about Aiden that has nothing to do with charges, has nothing.
Exactly.
There's nothing productive to be had from it other than pure like,
yeah.
And
there's not
am I going to
any
watch
highbrow
no
discussions?
No, it's not.
And I heard that Grant Smellis may make an appearance as well.
Now that's going to be as highbrow as it gets. If he chimes in, that's going to be as highbrow as it gets, because he's one thing about Grant, like, even though he talks completely out of his ass sometimes, most of the time, he also will talk in terms of the legal aspects of the scenario. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, he will do that. He'll stick to that. He won't sit there and talk in terms of like, oh, well, the two of them argued about this and this and that, blah 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 blah, and he just said this and she said that, blah blah blah. He's not going to do that. He's going to like he's going to try to be analytical about it. He's going to at least try to pretend to be analytical about it. You know what I mean?
Right. Even though his legal writings leave something to be desired, and, but for other sakes and purposes, I mean, he's a
Grant
pretty bright
is
guy. I mean, let's face it.
Grant is a fascinating individual. I have been fascinated with Grant since I first laid eyes on him on like a Tom CPU stream or something. Outside of I was like, dude, this guy is this guy real? Is he parody of something? I couldn't wrap my head around, like, it was wild. And then more and more just came out, like he was wearing a fucking rope for a belt. And I was just like, dude, who is this guy? This guy is fascinating. Like, I'm a big fan of the show News Radio. And how I had, like, there's an episode where James Caan is supposed to be kind of shadowing Phil Hartman's character, right?
Yep.
But he won't pay attention to Phil Hartman's character. He won't pay attention to Bill because he's fascinated with Matthew, Andy Dick, right?
Right.
He's fascinated with Matthew because he's just such a spaz and he's so weird, right? That's how I felt with when I saw Grant. I was like, is he real? Like, is this someone putting on an act? Is this a character that somebody made up?
Is this like a Cossie or an Aunt and Deb in real life?
Right.
Like, like low-level trolling at the courthouse. Like, you know what I mean? It's like a living, breathing cartoon character.
Right. I'm still fascinated as I was, you know what I mean? Now I know he's a real dude. I know that's just him, but I look at him in awe. you know, like half the time.
Yes.
Because I'm just
Yeah,
like,
he's
dude, what's he gonna say or do next? And it's always hilarious, and he doesn't mean to be funny, sir.
No, it's all
sir. It's like that shit is wild to me, dude. Like that he's a real dude with his hair and the bow tie, and like, is that the Mandela effect? Have I ever actually seen him in a bow tie, or am I just imagining him in a bow tie?
He is bow tie adjacent for sure, but I'm not sure that I've ever seen him in.
You see what he's capable of doing right now. I'm like, wait a second. Like, I don't think I've actually seen him in a bow tie. Has he ever worn a bow tie?
Like,
but he's totally bow tie guy. He's totally bow tie guy. And as I don't know if I've ever seen him in a bow tie. It's Mandela effect, totally. And I'm calling it right now.
It is totally the Mandela effect, where you know, something in quantum mechanics has made you believe something, and not only you, but millions of people believe something.
That's what self-awareness rewards, right there.
Right.
Is like, I can catch shit like that early on before I'm like, you know, like as soon as I said bow tie, I was like, wait a minute. I don't know if I've ever actually seen him in a bow tie. Why did I think that immediately?
Because you think he should have one. Like,
he's totally bow tie guy.
Yeah, he's destined for bow ties, I guess I would say.
Bow ties were made for guys like him.
And Ronnie the Juror.
Right. No, but even Ronnie, even though I probably have never seen Grant Smith Ellis in a bow tie, it doesn't suit Ronnie as much as it suits Grant Smith Ellis to wear a fucking bow tie.
Right. I feel like Ronnie should give his collection to Grant.
Right.
Right. Totally agree with you on that one.
Insane.
But I'll be tuning into the RFD Gatuni.
I just blew everyone's mind. We blew everyone's mind, dude. This is one of the best calls that we've had.
Really?
Yeah, we blew everyone's mind here. Everyone.
Oh, good to know.
Everyone in the chat just fucking experienced fucking this shit.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah. And what else? That's it. Yeah, man. Just what? 15 minutes? Is it 8:30? I'll be watching it.
I think it's 8:30 his time. It's actually, it's actually 9:30, I think.
Yeah. 8. Oh, yeah. Okay, I gotcha. That should be interesting, Will Glera.
I gotta bring back movie night. How about you join me for a movie night? How about you be my next guest for a Patreon movie night?
That would be tremendous. What do you want to watch? You want to watch Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas?
I don't know. That's to be determined. But
it's one of the best Christmas movies ever made.
But I just thought of these things. This is how I roll, bro. Like, I do shit by the seat of my pants, homie. I don't mean that I do shit by the seat of my pants. I mean, I do things.
I get it, Will Glera. I get it.
What's up, Jess?
I'm still working on a presentation myself. It's taking me forever, but I'm getting there.
Right on. Yeah, so we'll do that, man. Like, I'll be in touch somehow about I don't know, I'll pick the movie. We'll do something everybody knows, something that's traditional.
Sure.
And then we'll just add commentary to it, and it has to be on Kick, because anything goes on Kick will get copywritten on anywhere else, but Kick, anything goes. So what I do is I promote it for about a week and share the Patreon link, share the Patreon.
Yep.
And then you join Patreon, and then in Patreon, I share the link to the kick, and then we all meet there.
It sounds like a great time, Will Glare.
It always is. I just haven't done it in so goddamn long, man. But we need to start doing that. And what a better time than for the holiday? You know what I mean?
What a better time than the grifting season.
Agreed. Yeah, I've been slipping. I meant to. I just started late today, so I wanted to just rush through the already long enough intros. But I've been slipping. I like to play the retro Christmas commercials before the streams. You know, it's been a tradition for a few years now that I've done that. So,
yeah.
I love Christmas, man.
Yeah, I like it. It's all right. Yeah, it's fun. Anyways, shout out to the antenna people. Yeah, let's do that thing. Let's have a watch party, and let me know, and we'll do that, and we'll have ourselves a blast.
Yeah, me and Mazza did Point Break already, and it was fucking awesome. It was a blast.
Point Break, Johnny Utah.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Because like it's good to see a movie that we've seen 100 times. Because you can make observations that you've always made, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's just good. It makes for good conversation, better conversation with the person I'm watching it with.
Yeah.
So
I like when Gary Busey says, "And Johnny, I'll take 2."
Yeah, I'm thinking along the lines of right now. I'm tossing around a Christmas Vacation, or maybe even The Ref. But The Ref will just I want to sit quiet and laugh at that. I don't want to talk through that. But
what about Bad Santa?
Bad Santa, that's another one I'd probably want to sit around and laugh at. I want to find something that we can make fun of too, but because normally the vibe is Team Brittany gifted 10 memberships again, man, amazing, pretty wild.
She is en fuego tonight.
She has been incredibly generous. She always is, and she's a great mod. It's fantastic.
Hey, by the way, your show is starting to be on Rackets level gifting membership.
Yeah, it's wild. It's been great. It's been great. It was a good move to make the petty streams members only. It was a good move.
Yeah. It's a good model.
Because
Rackets knows what he's doing.
Everyone's happy. Everyone's happy this way.
Cool.
Yeah. I don't mind doing them so much. Because sometimes I sometimes I just feel icky about talking about stuff that I don't even want to really talk about anymore. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
And so it's just like,
and you don't want to hear people bitching about it. So
right.
You don't want, so
but it's on people's mind, and there's things that I want to say about it, even though I'm like, fuck,
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? And Crawford's always going to be fun to laugh at. I got, we're always going to do the Crawford petty streams, as long as he gives me content to do,
I've been thinking about doing a little remake of Cryford's rant the other day.
That'd be fun.
I'm really thinking of doing that. I just got to find the right barren field to do it in.
Yeah, I need that. I need to get with
for
Rackets.
A location.
I need to get with Rackets and do another stream with that dude, Ben. Like,
attention to until about a month ago. That dude is about as entertaining as it gets.
He is as entertaining as it gets. You're absolutely right. Rackets, I've watched him for a few years now, and I've really, really always enjoyed his take on things. And I like him because
cooking with Kurt may be some of the best content I've ever seen in my life.
It is. And the thing is like, it's justified. Say what you will. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
he's not just picking on Kurt. Like Kurt did him dirt. You know what I mean? And
He
has
did.
and
He
he
did.
and he has a right to like point out like this is why this dude is fucking I'm not even mad, but like it made me realize this dude is just funny. So
Yeah.
you know, and so it's not even malicious when he does it, you know, like
Right. He makes no apologies for it
he
either.
shouldn't.
He's like, listen, he's like, this is literally, without even being a dick, the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. And I'm not even kidding. Yeah.
It is. His observations are
it is.
valid. You know, they are. Like, I remember, like, because Kurt has a wrench on my channel. He has one as long as he's, you know, he hasn't done me any dirt. You know what I mean?
Right.
I have my
Right.
opinions.
Weird interview a little while back.
Right. That was just about to get to that. He contacted me, wanted to interview me on his channel. I always, right off the bat, I think it's kind of weird if someone wants to interview me, but 9 out of 10 times when that has happened, it's turned out to be really cool and really pleasant and nice. And that one, it wasn't upsetting, but there were things about it that I was just like, I mean, it was definitely awkward. You know what I mean? It was definitely awkward. But I wasn't offended.
The ending was so strange when he got so pissed that you wouldn't go to the doctor, and he just abruptly ended. I won't give the ending. Okay, I don't want to give anything away.
It was right. It was really bizarre that he had such strong opinions about me going, but it's not that he had strong opinions about me not going to the doctor. He had strong opinions about himself going to the doctor too much, and he was just deflecting. Like that's all he was doing.
Right.
And I didn't even I didn't say shit about it. You know, I was like, whatever. So it was really, really awkward in that sense. And it was really, but the thing was, this Rackets got a hold of it and he made it funny. So,
oh my God,
at first,
so funny.
Kurt wasn't happy about it because he kind of felt betrayed or whatever. And I was just like, no, Kurt, you need to understand that shit. You got to be self-aware enough to know that was awkward as fuck. It was weird, you know, and
it was.
And Rackets got a hold of it and made it funny. You know, so like nobody's mad at you here. You know, it's just it was funny. It's just something that's funny. We all have our moments. This was one of yours,
right? He is directing so many of his people to watch Kurt, right? Like give him views. You know what I mean? Because you know,
maybe not the views he wants, but I mean.
Right,
dude,
but it doesn't really matter.
How can you not see when you're cooking these things that are, I mean, if you're confident enough to actually stream yourself cooking, how do you not? That's why those are the best lolcow videos. Like, those are the best ones. Like me and Burnt Toast, we used to RIP her channel. I mean, RIP Burnt Toast channel, but we used to, there was this one dude, there was one guy we went over, this guy recently died. I forgot his name. I think Cobra. And he died recently. And I liked the guy. I thought he was, you know, I thought he was a nice guy. He seemed okay.
Yeah.
But his cooking videos were that of humor, you know, and they were gross. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the guy was a slob. He didn't wash his hands like ever. He used like dirty pots and pans, and he fucking used way too much heat and seasoned these things and just made it was just the sloppiest mess. And he was just bragging, like you know, acting like as if he was some culinary fucking artist here. And and that's what makes it funny. The same thing with Kurt. Kurt has horrible habits when he's cooking.
Oh my God.
And
oh my God.
Rackets points them out and makes them funny instead of them just being gross.
Rackets
now they're funny.
Out when he like pauses the video and sits there for a second, he's like, no, you can't do this. It's fucking it's the funniest shit ever. Have you ever heard Kurt's take on the mate of his choice in the age of consent in Texas and things like this. Have you heard that?
Not in depth, no.
All right. Well, I'm not gonna, but that is something everybody should check out through Racket's channel.
Right.
It's horrifying.
I've heard about these things. Yeah, I've heard about these things. I know that there are certain people who are a little, put off by Kurt. Let's just say, for these reasons. And I mean, I guess I just never heard them. And I to me, he's a guy on the internet. He hasn't been charged with anything, so he's going to be
No,
a guy on the
nothing
internet.
like that.
You know, to me, he's just going to be a guy on the internet. Like that's like that. I posted that shit on. There's a clip, of when Rackets was on Anti-Debs on Jimmy's channel. And
that was good that was really good the other day.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. They had a great dynamic, and Rackets explains the internet perfectly. I had to repost it because he explains this is just, dude, like if you're not laughing at the shit that you see on the internet and not taking advantage at the fact that the internet is meant to be laughed at, like you're missing out.
What are you doing?
If you're taking this shit too seriously, like,
right.
That's why, Rackets got into the trouble that he got into. And I was actually very vocal at the time about it. When it first happened, I didn't spend a lot of time on it. I didn't do whole live streams on it, but I addressed it. I remember at the beginning or end of one or two of my live streams where I was just like, I think it sucks that his friends are turning on him and using his shit. Channels that I like are turning on him and using his misfortune for content instead of being like, let's help the guy,
Right.
And I remember thinking that shit was fucked up, and I spoke up about it. And I remember, and then hearing Rackets, talk about this is just all to be laughed at. Like I've done my shit, sure, laugh at it. You know what I mean? Like I've done my shit, and that's the whole thing. Is just, you got people who think the worst of you. Well, that's okay too. You can think the worst of me. I'm on the internet. Right. You're allowed. You're allowed to think that I'm.
First of all,
right. You're allowed to think I'm a woman beater and a child abuser.
Anybody out of his chat, they could say the most horrible. I mean, if they start talking about his wife and stuff, he gets them out of there. But he has 20 trolls in there at any given time just saying crazy shit about him. He laughs at them. And what people love about Rackets is he's real. You know what I mean? He's forthright about shit. He admits to all the shit he did, and you know what I mean. He's himself. He's real. That's what people want to see, right? You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean. You put it all out there. That's what makes,
what is the point otherwise?
Exactly. But there's so many fakers out there.
I think that's probably the unspoken mutual respect that Rackets and I have for each other is that, you make bad decisions, but you learn from them and you try to be a better person from them. You know what I mean? And spread the wealth, so to speak. Go on here, have fun, make fun of yourself. Have a good time. You are a person on the internet, and if the internet is meant to be laughed at, fucking laugh at me. Laugh at me, laugh with me. Let's fucking have a good time. That's what I'm here to do.
Either way, it doesn't matter, right? You know what I mean, it's like, and I mean, at one point, he was telling Deb Jimmy the other day that he was the most super chatted YouTuber on the planet at one point. I mean, that's crazy.
That is crazy. I mean, but he earned it, you know, like,
yeah, no, he definitely earned it.
and how ironic is it that, you know, because of this misfortune that took place, you know, and I'm not trying to take away from it through his own, you know, poor decision making, but nevertheless, through this misfortune, you know, it cost him a lot of viewers and a lot of support because people are just generally fucking judgy as fuck, you know?
Yeah.
And, but the thing is like, he's now better than ever, you know? Like, I love this. I love this fucking clear-headed, fucking on point, fucking, you know, woken up, so to speak, version of Racket.
Quick-witted, self-deprecating.
He's always been quick-witted.
You know what I mean?
He's always been quick-witted.
Well, he's always been
quick-witted and self-deprecating. But he's now, like, there's a clarity to him that you can sense now that wasn't always there, you know? And even though it didn't matter that it wasn't there then, it seems like an improvement now, you know?
Oh, definitely.
That's how I see it anyway.
Yeah. He's an entertaining dude, man.
He is, yeah, and his heart's in it for entertaining the people. Like, he's very interactive with his chat. He's, you know, he's just a fun guy who appreciates that he can fucking stay up late at night and have a few laughs with a few hundred people, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. All right, well,
great talk, Ossie.
Good talking to you, Will Blair. I guess I'm gonna go watch my adversary there, Gatuni.
Okay.
And see what she's got to say.
All right.
So good talking. Shout out to the antenna people. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Later.
Thanks for having me on your presentation.
It's always a pleasure, sir. People.
All right. Bye.
Specially appointed prosecutor Robert Kosk. Thank you, D. Klein.
Call from
Angie.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, Will, it's Angie.
Hi, Angie.
So my first thought at the beginning of the Walshe trial was, oh my God, he's using the Chad Daybell defense. By saying he found her in bed.
In what sense?
Larry Tipton in his opening said that Brian Walshe found her in bed. He tapped her once, she didn't react. He tapped her again, she didn't react. And on the third time, she fell out of bed.
Right.
And which is essentially what happened to Tammy Daybell.
Okay. Yeah.
The only difference is that Chad Daybell's son, old adult son, was also in the house. So he had to call 911.
Wow.
So I thought it not. I mean, rest in peace, Tammy Daybell, obviously, but like that was the first thing like that came to my mind, and I'm like, why is he doing that? Like, Chad Daybell is literally on death row right now.
Yeah,
it's not exactly smart strategy.
Well, I mean, it's all they got. You know what I mean? And hopefully the jury sees that. You know,
right? Well, Melanie made a good point, and that is because of the way that, like, if you take into context when this happened, like during this, when Anna Walshe disappeared, this is like not even just shy of a year after John O'Keefe died.
Right. Yeah. Just shy of a year.
And yeah. And so like she was talking about, because they made a agreement with his white collar attorney that all they could look for on the phones and the iPad was communications between Anna and Brian and his attorney. That is it.
Right.
But then they did a full extraction and started looking through it because that's what they do. And we all know that's what they do. And they found the Google searches and the location data and all that.
Oh,
and
wow.
she's pretty sure that because of that, because they didn't have a warrant when they started looking at that, that it'll be fruit of the poisonous tree, because pre-trial they had a what is that called? Suppression hearing, where they were going to, Larry Tipton was trying to get the Google searches and the location data and whatnot suppressed.
Right.
Because they
you're
didn't have a
jamming.
warrant. Yeah, well, that too, but they didn't have a
Right.
warrant is
Yeah.
the main thing. And so, you know, yeah, so it'll be interesting to see if he does get convicted, if it gets overturned on appeal
Right.
because of that.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, about appeal. I mean, I don't think I think this jury is going to convict him, and I think he'll try to appeal, but I don't think the appeal is going to go very far. But we'll see.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
there is a good case for an appeal, though. That, you know.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, like I said, we'll see. But
yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's innocent, like, in no way, shape, or form am I saying that.
No. We're in agreement in the sense that, like, it's a question of whether or not the prosecution failed to prove their case and whether or not that could be argued in appeal.
Right.
If they failed to prove their case and he's still convicted, then they can appeal based on that.
Right.
So I agree with you. I'm going to take the next call.
Okay.
Thanks for.
I was
calling
also
so
going to
much.
say I was very disappointed about Proctor not being called.
Oh.
Because I was looking forward to that, but because he was the lead investigator on this case too.
Okay. Right on.
So, but anyway, have a good night, Will.
You too. Thanks for calling. Bye-bye.
All right.
Oh shit, I'm sorry.
Call from
Dave.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
This is Dave.
Dave. Dave's not here.
I thought this was Dave.
Dave's not here, man.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. I was trying to call Dave.
Yeah, but
Will. Will.
Who's it? This is Will. Dave's not here.
Oh yeah, I'm Dave. Yeah, sorry. Will.
If you're Dave, then I'm Will.
I'm glad we're finally taking this to a level of entertainment. Because I got to say, I was bored for the last 10 minutes.
Right on. Well, what's up, Dave? How we doing, man?
All right, number one, if you were a beer in my fridge, what would it be? And it's not Heineken, because that's what it was last time.
Motherfucking Presidente, dog.
Oh, you're close. Tonight, my beer is Bullet Bourbon.
Bullet Bourbon, not even close, but okay. Okay, number two. Let's go. Number two. Let's keep it moving, Dave. Number two.
All right. So, as a sideliner here, because, you know, my wife, my sexy wife, Sarah B. Creative.
Oh, Sarah B. Creative is your sexy wife? Okay.
She is into this, and I sideline this all the time. And from a sideliner, the trial's over. We haven't seen Karen Reed, and I'm having a hard time, like, keeping up with everything, you know, and
Okay.
I don't know where it's going.
I can't imagine why, Dave.
Well, I mean, we haven't heard from her. She's been in the shadows for whatever reason, right?
That's not what I meant, Dave.
I think you went right over my bourbon head.
I think I did, Dave.
Anyway, well, I don't want to keep you any longer, but we still enjoy the show. Or I mean, I enjoy it from the sidelines, you know, and occasionally like to pipe in and be an asshole. Not like my wife. She's a sweetheart.
And sexy, according to you.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh, right on. All right.
100%.
Sarah B. Creative, right
Yeah.
on.
But we're gonna leave you to it.
All right. Thanks for calling, Dave.
Hey,
Appreciate you, man.
And by the way, Posse needs to stay in character.
Cossie needs to stay in character. Yeah. I mean, but
absolutely.
I still, I like talking to the other alternate ego, the alter ego of Cossie too. So I enjoy our conversations.
I do too, but like, I would be like in stitches, like holding my stomach when he would call in character.
Oh
like
my God,
months
I don't
ago.
care.
Like I was like crying.
Yeah.
That guy is so funny.
Yeah, but
that's Charlie. That's Charlie.
That still happen from time to time.
It does. No, my wife calls me Charlie from fucking Always Sunny.
Okay. So you're Charlie? Yeah.
Well, I maybe have a slightly higher pitched voice and I do Charlie things.
Okay. Do you do the butt dance?
I do it all.
Okay, right on. Right
all
on.
right, guys. Nice talking to you, man.
You too, Dave. Have a good one, buddy.
Later.
Okay, I'll take one more call. One more call. There we go. Well, lost him. Whoever the fuck that was.
Call from.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
This is Grandma Cheryl. How you doing, Will?
Hi, Grandma Cheryl. I'm doing great.
Hey,
How are you?
I'm good. So I can't believe I got through, first of all. Second of all, I was on your petty stream the other day, and I have been following and watching you for a couple years now. And the other night, I was so surprised because I was gifted a membership, so I was allowed to stay on the stream.
Okay.
I was sitting here almost crying. I'm like, oh my God, I got a membership to Will. I can be on those extra streams when he takes the dog for a walk. And so, yeah, the first one I ever got. So I'm like checking my phone every 10 minutes to see if you posted anything new for members only, because I am now a member.
Right on. Well, I'm glad you're a member.
Me too. And, all this other stuff that's going on, I'm glad that you're on and you keep it real. And that's the thing that you have done consistently.
Hell yeah.
And that's why you have so many people that are following you, because, like, you're not a part of all of that nonsense that's going on.
I mean, but, yeah, I try to, But, yeah.
Yeah. You got to keep it real, and you got to keep it on point, and you do that. And I mean, there's something to be said about that. Otherwise, you wouldn't have all these people following you and joining your streams and joining to be members. And so, I mean, I appreciate that, because you don't want to go on and watch somebody that's fake and phony and just putting out stuff that they think people want to hear. Like the stuff that you were saying the other night, it got a lot of people thinking about what's going on. And if you don't say it, people aren't going to know anything about it, and they're not going to be able to see it from a different perspective. Then, things aren't always what they seem.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, I appreciate you doing what you do. And I'm retired. I am on YouTube all day. And so I don't want to be watching any crap on there or listening to any crap. And I know I'm not going to get that when I watch you. Like
No, you're not.
You're the honest guy that's on there, that's, not just fluffing everything up because you think that's what people want to hear.
Right. I tell you what I think you need to hear.
Well, Yeah,
But not
and
even,
sometimes
not
it's
even.
not
I mean,
pretty, but
I'm talking shit. Like, but really, all I do is I just speak my mind. I speak what's on my mind, and that's it. And you guys find it entertaining, and I'm grateful for it. That's really all it boils down
well,
to.
because sometimes you say things that people are afraid to hear or people are afraid to think, but nowadays people need to hear those things, and if they're not going to think it, like somebody's got to tell them.
Yeah, I mean, I just speak honestly, like I speak from the heart and what's on my mind and how I feel about things. And if you can relate to it, it's validating because I don't feel crazy. You know what I mean?
Oh,
But
you're far from crazy.
but
You're far from
but
crazy.
but it's also nice, because like people also take it the same way because I feel like they tell me that I'm validating them too. So, that's a blessing as well.
Because you say things that people know in their head, but they don't want to say. And then once you say it and people start thinking about it, they're like, oh my God, like the things that he said, now look I can add 1 and 1 and that's 2 and that and then you put the pieces together for everybody and then they start to figure shit out because you put them on the right path.
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess I mean, I get messages from people who, tell me really nice things and that's happened for a few years now. And I'm just really grateful for that. Cause
People appreciate you.
yeah, I just enjoy doing this, and everybody's just real people and they're real kind and, and then there's that,
Don't you think that's the way to be? Because you don't want fake ass people following you, fake ass people calling in. Because you know what?
It makes for a shitty show. I don't want that. Yeah.
it really does. It really
Right.
does. And then what's going to make people come back to watch you or to listen to you if you're just all fluff and smoke and mirrors speak? They want real stuff that's going on, and they want real shit. Like there's so much bad stuff going on in the world, but people don't, you're like an escape for me. Like I go on and I listen to it. I'm like, okay, I'm not listening to anything else bad in the world. I'm just listening to the glare and I'm listening to what Will has to say and that's it. And, so I appreciate you. With my reason for calling is to say that I appreciate you. And I'm so glad that the first membership I got was a gifted membership from somebody on your channel. And I was like, oh my God, I get to stay for members only. I get to go see Clubber on his walks and all that stuff.
Right on. Well, I'm glad. I appreciate you, Grandma Cheryl, and you're really, really sweet. And I really enjoyed you calling in. I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm glad you're a member as well.
Are welcome. Yes, and I will let you go. And I appreciate you, and I'll probably call in again soon before my membership ends, which I'll probably redo it.
Right on. Right on. Great to hear.
Thank you for being so good.
All right. Thanks, Grandma Cheryl.
Okay,
I appreciate
bye,
that. Bye. All right, man. That was some good calls tonight. Some good calls. I was going to direct everybody over to Auntie Deb. I got a notification that he had a members only thing going on. But it seems like that's over. I know Ray from Dallas is going to have the Gatuni thing. I'm sure people are going to be curious about it. I'm slightly curious about it, but not by much. But I'm glad that Ray's channel is doing well, and I want it to do well, and I hope everybody goes and shows at least Ray some support. But anyways, you guys are fantastic. I love you guys a lot. Please make sure, listen, guys, make sure to hit the like because it really helps me out. It's a big deal. I really, really appreciate when you guys touch me on the like button. And because it feels really, really good. And it helps out the channel a lot. And make sure also to subscribe if you're not already. Double check, make sure you're still subscribed because YouTube engages in some fuckery. And make sure to hit the notification bell so you know when I'm going live. And listen, man, there's only a couple of weeks left in 2025, and I would love to hit 50K by 2026. So share this out, tell your friends about the channel. And let's see if we can't get me to 50K. So guys, and check out MC Cossy G. He dropped a link to his channel. Make sure to get him, subscribe up to him as well. Doesn't cost nothing to subscribe. Guys, you guys are absolutely fantastic. You guys absolutely mean the world to me. I have the best time hanging out with you. I'm so glad that we did this tonight. I love you guys very, very much. Remember, it only takes a second to stay safe, and we will do this again very soon, my friends.
Watch out!
Today, being retarded means leading a full life. Retarded people go to work or school just like their neighbors and come back to a real home, a supervised home, right in the neighborhood where they belong. Being retarded never stopped anyone from being a good neighbor.